Evening, folks. Thanks for coming back. Hope everybody's safe and well and enjoying the lovely rain. Well, we're getting rain up in Scotland. We've got a mixture of rain and sunshine, but however, we're here and we've got the lovely Sam, as always.
Hi, guys.
She can't keep away. And we've got back with us tonight our good friend and one of the heads of Para Uni, Tim, from Ghosted UK.
Hello.
Who likes to stick his fingers in there? So hi, Ian, Wayne, and Misty. Thanks for coming in. Hope you're all well. He does wonderful things with his fingers, but we won't go there because this is a clean channel. No, you're no bother doing that, Tim. No bother doing that. You know, keep the fingers away from any passages on your nose or your head area. Actually, you know.
I just practice my YouTube stuff. You know, oh my god!
Oh my god!
Oh wow! You know, that sort of thing. Just in
I
case
can,
it's ever needed.
I can do. I like to practice faces as well. So
Oh, don't do it! Please don't.
We've got Wayne. We've got the lovely Irene, and so far with us. So hi, folks. Thanks for coming in. No, I like to do some surprised faces, and you know that kind of over there look. You know the sort of.
Oh.
Aye, the over there. I guess. Anyway, Tim, how are you? And what's been happening?
I'm fine. We've been quite busy. We're sorting out some events and things like that, paranormal events, and we've been doing some videos, which we release in a couple of weeks ish. Well, we're starting a new YouTube channel, so we're using that at the moment. But yeah, we're just. I think we're in a no man's land at the moment because we've been, you know, doing nothing really, you know, investigating. But yes, we do virtual investigate, you know, speaking to people and ask us questions about the paranormal hauntings and stuff. But to be out in the field is the best bit. To be out there in people's homes who have got problems, that's the best bit of which I love. And we can't do it, you know. Well, we could do it, but I don't agree with it. I don't think people should be out doing it if it's this weird thing, because we've had cases come up where they're so stressed, trust me, they're like crying their eyes out wanting us to go. So it's and it's not a claim, it's essential, you know. Even a church won't even go out to some of these places because they're like you know, so it's a difficult one. I mean, there should be something like, if you're a paranormal investigator, I mean, a real one, then be maybe registered with your local council or something, and then they give you permission. I think that's an idea that could go forward, but whether the council agree on it, they don't agree on anything.
Well, that's the thing. It's the same in Edinburgh. We've obviously all the restrictions have eased up here now. Hi, did you say hi to Wayne, Patchy, Sarah's here, Donna and John. He's part of our team. John, Andy as well. So hi to everybody who's just come in. Welcome. As you can see, we have Tim back with us. That's the thing about Edinburgh Council, you know, no disrespect to them, they've got their rules and regulations, but obviously we're doing a lot in Edinburgh just now because we started filming our Darkest Mile series about 2 weeks ago, Sam, 3 weeks ago.
I think so, about 2 weeks, 3 weeks,
but it's getting into the graveyards to do investigations because you're not allowed to do them anymore in Edinburgh.
There's a lot of red tape.
Yeah, you need permits, etc., to investigate in graveyards, so you're kind of limited to, you know, where you go. Hi, Gemma doll. But hi, Mohammed. I'm trying to catch up with everybody in the chat as we're talking as well. Multitasking. Who says a man can't multitask? I just proved it.
I just think there should be an option for you to be registered with the local council.
Yeah.
Idea. And if you're registered there, they know you're not going to do, vandalise these places, like a permit thing in a way. But and if you get a case where we've had one case where a lady is crying her eyes out, she's in bits because of these experiences she's getting in her house. And we felt terrible to say we can't. We tried to help her over, a lot of virtual chat and tried to do what we could, but it's not the same. It's not near as being there. And because when you do these home ones, you're not only investigating, you're giving people comfort.
Well, that's it.
People are scared out of their wits. They don't know what's happening. Scare the crap out of them. Which I don't blame them. Doors banging and hearing these noises and voices and footsteps during the night, and it's not the same as being there. You can give them comfort, and people have lost people and said they've come back and rattling their bed and things like that. It's not the same as you being there, and you can give them comfort to say everything's fine. We'll help and it's not a one night thing where you just turn up. Yeah, it's all sorted. They're all gone now. They're gone. It takes like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 visits or more, and then you got like the aftercare, whereas people 6 months down the line say, well, this might happen and that, and so you'll check it out to see if anything's come back or whatever. You never hear that from a lot of people, a lot of teams. It's all about Facebook Live. Get in there. Whoa. Exactly. Fine. It's all right. But
hey, Justin and Shelley's in. But I know what you mean, Tim, about it's, you can sit behind a camera and talk to these people and they tell you what's happening. That's it. It's a conversation. But it's better to go there because it's more personal, it's more one-on-one. And it lets these people see that you're willing to come out, and meet them and maybe experience what they've been what they've been going through. And the aftercare bit, I think, is really important because you get a lot of teams. I mean, I don't like dissing other teams, I'm not going to name any, but they'll go into a house, they'll spend maybe a day and say, right, that's it, the house is clean, we're off. And away they go. And you never hear from them again. But, if you go and clean a house, whatever, and then maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, you phone the person or you chat their door and say, how's things, anything else happened? You actually care more. That you are actually genuinely trying to help people.
Yeah,
it's amazing how a person seeing somebody face to face actually helps rather than speaking to them via a video call or through a screen, because sometimes all the person needs is to see another human being, and that's all the reassurance that
we didn't just get. Sometimes we get some paranormal experiences and some people with how can I say it, like health problems, and obviously it's difficult because you have to make sure that if they're going through a health problem, a mental health problem, for instance, you've got to be careful what you say. You can't just go get in there and go, oh, look, there's a demon over there. Look, you've got to be, sensible about it to approach. I've heard of people actually doing that. That's terrible. People scare the EBGBs out of people.
Put a life into people, isn't it?
Yeah, and people do have mental health problems, and you've got to relate between the two, and try and. I mean, we've had to contact the person's relations, which is a difficult thing. You have to make them decisions to contact, say, well, it's partly a paranormal thing, but it's also a health issue here. And they were the thing. They thought, what the hell's a paranormal team contacting us? I mean, whether we should or not, I don't know, but we felt right to, because we were worried about the person, and that was more important than the paranormal side. Then, if the person's having serious health issues, that overrides anything. That's
No, it does. I totally agree. Donna, with a question: what can you do if a spirit refuses to leave and follows you?
Is that for me or you or what?
It'll be for you, I think.
Oh, right, okay.
You're the guest.
Well, refuses to leave. Well, yes, they sometimes do, and they don't want to go, obviously. But luckily, we've had 100% record. So we've cleansed every property. We've cleansed is gone. We've never had any. We've had a few little hiccups when they slight come back, but then we've eradicated that and sorted. But like I say, it's not a one night thing. If it was come in and go, oh, they're all gone. Thank you very much. There you go. Bow and go. That ain't like that. You can follow ups. And we don't always just go and investigate straight off the bat. We assess the situation. Just one or two people. We assess the situation before we even attempt to do an investigation. Because we don't want to pile in with the equipment and go, hey, here we go. Because it might not be nothing. That might be just something trivial. So we don't bother, to go wading in. But yeah, we've had 100% records. We're lucky, really lucky. I never thought that you would ever clear everything 100%, which you probably wouldn't. But the major problems they're having, the majority is that solving that problem. It's a jigsaw, and you've got to solve the problem to find out, is it spirits from the past that are just haunting the area, repeating itself, or is it a personal spirit from one of the family coming in? You got all these different options, and it's just getting it, pinpointed to what it is. And once you pinpoint it, and then we can then get to work by saying, we need you to go, and then we can do a cleansing. We went the house. It was, you've heard of the think of the worst haunting you've on record, apparent haunting on record. 30 East Drive has been bad. We've had a house like that, if worse than that. That makes that place nothing. Honestly,
really?
Yes, it was horrendous. It was a nasty, horrible presence in the property. The family had to move out. I think I've said this before, probably. And we, with all the stuff, all the EVPs, we captured tons of EVPs. The REM pod never stopped, and things like that. It was crazy. And after a few sessions of finding out what we believe it was, and then we believe, I think there's a portal in there, and there's a few objects that shouldn't have been in there that was bringing in more. Yes, an old captain's desk. And this family and kids had to move out. Anyway, after we got in there and sorted out, we cleansed it, and we went back, because this is the thing, we didn't just cleanse it and leave it. We'll go back to the property and then check to see what it's like. And we went back. We didn't get no EVPs. We didn't get nothing, not a sausage.
Wow.
But we thought, wow, that's a good result. Then we suggest the family come in bit by bit to see what they feel, when they come back to the house. Well, they all moved in. They were happy as Larry. That was a superb result. And they were really thankful for what we'd done. And that was weird. It's weird when you got all this activity and then a good cleansing and pinpointing who it is or what it is. It was a portal or whatever. It's amazing. Complete difference. It's lovely and peaceful. Amazing. And you can feel that when you cleanse, and you feel the atmosphere, just suddenly it all clears. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. It's strange, but it's a miracle.
Totally night and day. If the spirit doesn't stay in the property, pops in and out, is it possible to stop them entering the home?
The spirit doesn't stay in the property. Well, it depends. I mean, if it's just some sort of energy that just comes in, like especially a relative, a lot of people love seeing their relatives. So you've got to find out, through investigating if it's a relative or is it something else? Is it something that's attached to the building or whatever, So you've got to pinpoint it. But, pops in and out. I mean, I think we all get a bit of, spirit coming in every house. I think it's everywhere. I think a lot of it don't make such a big thing about it, where you might get the odd tap or the odd thing, and people are quite happy to say hello, I'm here, blah, blah, blah. Oh, that's really, oh wow, that's amazing. Like even our poor dog who passed away, Kipper, unfortunately, after he's 17 years old and he passed away. The night he passed away, or was that the next night? Either that night or the next night, I think it was that night, we heard a whine from a dog. That was quite amazing. Yeah, you quite clearly, just like a whine, and we were like shocked, So we feel he's still,
he's back,
around. Yes. That there's strange things that happen, and you think, wow. And I think it's difficult to say whether I think they do pop in and out, a bit interference. Sorry, they do pop in and out. And I think they're just keeping an eye on you, just to say hello, see what you're up to, especially relatives. I believe that.
I quite believe it as well. Just look through some of the comments. Donna saying she got a friend who, the friend lives in a house in a graveyard, which she looks after, and I check and visit. Now I think that'd be quite good to have a house inside a graveyard. Gemma said a bad experience with a ghost. Andy Murphy, recently a pub owner joined us. He entered his own pub at this believer and left an hour later, a believer. We're heading back to carry on and see how we can help them. Gemma's asking, what if a ghost
comes back with you?
Oh, an attachment. Oh, good grief. Yeah, they do happen. Just make sure you get really good, spiritual protection. You do a blessing before and a blessing after, before you even open your mouth or do anything. And we've been quite lucky. We've had the odd bits and pieces. And I think you learn from your mistakes. Maybe a blessing weren't correct or said properly or something. But we look after our team, so if we have one problem, one of the team, we're there like a bullet. We'll help. Say one of our members had an attachment, we're there, and we're lucky we've got like 50 mediums in our team. So I didn't do. I used to do some of the blessings, but sorry,
you up to nearly 50 in your team?
No, I'm joking. That feels like it. But we've always got their knowledge of blessings and stuff like that, and you can bless someone from distance. So if that was forgot about, they can do it driving back. They do it in the head to bless. There's all different things like that. But yeah, you definitely need protection. It's sometimes you've got crystals. We have crystals, or definitely there. I think some people just think it's a safe keep thing. It could be just in your head that you got this protection, but I think you definitely wouldn't risk not doing it without protection. I've had people on the Ouija boards, protection, but I think when you're really, that means if you're not doing protection and you get something nasty, they can come in with you. That is possible. I've heard many, many, many stories of people getting attachments and coming in, their mood change, they feel ill, and things like that. Had medical check, nothing wrong with them, and this carried on, and they said, we believe you got an attachment from spirit, so they have to be cleansed, and stuff like that. So you have to be very careful. It's not a joke. It's not, like it's easy for on TV. They just go in, one more fine. I think Zach from Ghost Adventures said he's had loads of them.
What do you feel about, how to explain this? So, see if you go to a particular place or a particular area, do you go with your gut instinct on how you're being made to feel, or do you look for something more?
What, for the investigations, you mean, or just any
location? Any location that you go to. Do you ever go somewhere for some unknown reason to yourself, there's like a block stopping you from going in?
No, not really. I think it's just, I think that's the brilliant thing about investigating. It's just getting to a location, a new one, and you're like, oh, I wonder what this is going to be like. It's like a box of chocolates. You don't know what you're going to get in there. You know, you just don't know. I mean, everything's different. Every location's different. Got a different atmosphere. Some are pleasant and funny, and some are not. Not so nice sort of bad atmosphere. But you mostly go on the bad atmosphere ones as ones you need to find out really what's going on. Why is it these homes are really, or properties are really, that sort of like a, how can I explain? You just feel bad, you feel that's horrible, like dread. Like empath anyway, and I feel
100%.
Some places you feel depressed, so it's got, and if you feel like that in a place, if you are doing an investigation, you feel really like, depressed or whatever. I always come out of the location, walk away, go outside, get some fresh air, and that'll pass. We've done that many times. People had pains in their chest, bad heads, backache, leg ache, you name it. And you just go outside and get some fresh air outside, and it seemed to work. You go back in. If it does it again, go back out. You do work in these conditions sometimes, but it's very rare. Because, hang on, just look. I always do that. Are you reading that one?
A lot of the spirits here are not a problem. However, one specific one is very unnerving and follows me around, making me physically ill. I have specific gifts, but not fully developed. He's not a relative, but clearly wants my attention. Is there anything I can do or can be done to get him to back off or leave?
Well, definitely you need to see a good medium, to be honest with you, and see if you can be blessed. Not to give you like a cleansing, and see if they can get that spirit off you. That's for sure. You can't carry on like that. I think something that you definitely need to speak to someone about. But now we're coming out. Are you in the UK, Margaret? Was it Margaret?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, Donna's England.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to. Is it Donna? Was it? Sorry.
Yeah, Donna French.
Yeah, Donna. Sorry, that's me. Yeah. If you're UK, then I would definitely, now we're coming out of lockdown, but really need to see a medium to see if they can. Know you're a medium. You're partly a medium yourself. Even mediums need a cleansing. Your hand, because that's how we work. If one medium go down, we got another medium to back up, so we can cleanse them if it ever happens. It's very rare. It doesn't happen all the time, but yeah, you definitely need to get someone to give you a cleanse and find out who it is, and and tell them to go away. Leave you alone. It could be a relative, like you say. You don't know for sure. If you feel that's not, then sometimes that can be a guide. That's because there's someone different. A lot of people who mediums I speak to have guides come through, and they think, "What's this person?" Blah 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 blah. And they find out as a guide to help them. So,
have you ever been somewhere as well that you and your other members of the team don't have the same sort of feelings about a place?
Yes, we do. Yeah, we do. There are a lot of mediums. That's true, Misty. Yeah, unfortunately, we have the fakes, the rubbish, and the blah blah blah. You get that for whatever. Same as football. People are getting £50 million a week, and they ain't worth £1. Yeah, you got to make sure you get someone who can be recommended. Donna, someone who can, I'm sure someone in your area, we can sort something out with Scott and Sam and myself, and we'll see if we can find someone who is good because there is a lot of rubbish out there. Unfortunately, when it comes to spiritual stuff and paranormal, there's money to be made, and people know it.
And people prey on the vulnerable as well. So if there's an opportunity there to make money off of somebody that's maybe grieving,
they go around your house. They'll say, "Oh, we'll do a cleanse, and that's 50 quid," and they ain't cleansed nothing. They ain't got no chance. You know, it's just silly. Unfortunately,
there's a lot. You know, anybody can stand up and say, "I'm a medium." There's no certificates for it or badges or anything. So anybody can say, "I'm a medium." And if you get, as Sam says, a lot of vulnerable people out there grieving, and you know, if you get, say, maybe a woman who's maybe just lost her partner, and somebody's going to say, "Medium," well, the woman's going to be in that much of a state that she's going to try, you know, right? Can you help me? And this person can rip them right off. But unfortunately, there's no way, you know, there's no qualifications or anything to write. There's my ID, you know.
You can get certificate. You can get certificates. You can go on these courses and all this sort of thing. I mean, I just don't know. I mean, I've never been on them or anything like that, but I just think it's one money racketing thing. I really do. I mean, there could be some good ones out there, but I don't know why you'd want to pay to get a certificate to say you know. I think your reputation as a medium would be like, as in a spiritual church, like say, Misty, if you're in a spiritual church and people know you and you get a bit of a reputation, say they're really good, you know, and you know, I know people charge a couple of quid here and there for their time and petrol money and so that's, you know, but they're not like charging 50 quid for 5 minutes chat. I think it's a, you know, it's the problem. It's when we recommend a medium, you know, we make sure we know who it is and that they're you know, they're good at what they do and they're not going to really charge you. Hopefully not. We'd never charge for our services ever. I mean, it's ridiculous.
As Sam was saying there about different people in the same team getting into a location and excuse me, feeling different things.
Yes.
I wouldn't call it a case, you know, because there's a location that we have done. Well, I'll let Sam tell you about her first encounter, and then I'll tell you the rest because we went back to it.
It was a couple of years ago. I was down walking my dogs in the area, and it was like an old building that had been used as a power station in its past, like for miners and things. So I was down walking my dogs on the ground because it was a big open space. You could run free, blah blah blah. And my husband was like, "Do you want to go in it?" And I'm like, Aye, okay, we'll go in and have a wee look, sort of thing. I was all right at the right-hand side of the building, but see, as soon as I went to go to the left-hand side, it's like there was a block put in front of me as if to say, "Don't go there, don't do it." And it gave me such a horrible feeling, like a pit on my stomach feeling, as if to say, "Don't do that. If you go in there, something's going to happen." And it like felt me like what you were saying, like with a dread.
Yes.
But there was no reasoning for it because I'd never ever been there before. That was the first time I'd ever been. So it was very, very strange. But then a couple of months ago, which is like a good 1.5 to 2 years later, I went down with a member of the team. We just went for a wee nosy during the day, not at night time, during the day. And we were both in, my husband was there again, and we had the necrophonic app on.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm going to get my big girl pants on, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to go in, I'm going to face my fears, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to go in. And I go in the building, and I go up the first flight of stairs onto like the level on the first floor before you go up the stairs again. And the necrophonic kicked in. Sam, stop, get out.
Oh, right, okay.
So clear as day, 3 words. Sam, stop, get out.
So some energy, plus they knew your name.
Yes.
So,
So
it's
that was
strange,
me again.
isn't it?
That was me again. I was like, I'm out of here.
You're gone. Yeah,
I'm gone.
I've had so many experiences of that. I mean, it's like, you know, I'm trying to think if I've experienced anything like that. It's, I think the only thing I've felt is a certain weird thing is the cold spots when you get a cold, like cold zone, and you're walking along, and then suddenly you hit like a freezer, and you're like,
oof.
Bloody hell, that's cold. Get the temperature in. Oh, bloody hell, that's freezing. Isn't, you know, that's like 2 Celsius here. As soon as you come out of the zone, it goes up to 6 Celsius. As soon as you go back in, it's gone down to 2. No air conditioning on or nothing like that. And that's weird. And, and it's like walking in a cold, boom, you know.
It was strange because it's not as if I'm scared, because I'm no scared.
No, but it's stopping you, like you're trying to, what, physically you can't walk?
I'm not scared. I physically can't go in that building.
Yeah, so no, you're not.
Then,
but how does it know your name if you? That's the weird thing, isn't it?
But then Scott will follow on.
Yeah.
We went about 3 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago. I went with excuse me, Forrest, Joe, and Joe's brother. Up the top, there's 3 floors to this place, and that's quite dirty. It's up on our Facebook page and YouTube, the investigation. We were up the top floor, and we found it, just you said, there was one particular spot where it was absolutely freezing. With the REM pod go off, we moved down to the next level. There was the middle floor, and one of the cat balls went off. And then we went down to the bottom where the stairs are. We're on the stairs, and Joe felt something had touched her hand, her face, and was holding her shoulders back. Forrest was there, and Forrest says, you know, my name's Forrest, and it came through the app, you know, who's Forrest? So we got that in that investigation. So it was Sunday night we were back. Shelley and I went back Sunday night. Again, we went up the stairs, top floor. It was definitely the same cold spot. We heard it sounded like 2 footsteps, a shuffle, footsteps just around the corner from us. There was nothing there. And we heard another unexplained noise coming from the other side of the building. There was nothing there. Now, there is birds nesting in that building, but the noises we heard, and I'm the one to exaggerate or, you know, make up BS, basically. The noises we heard, it wasn't the birds.
Yeah.
So when Shelley had the app on, and the 3 words came through in succession, and it was "Want Samantha's Life."
Oh, right. Samantha's life. Oh.
Our signal was kicking in and out, and when I saw the words, I wasn't sure what to do about it, so I just, you know, called it a day on the investigation. Even though Sam wasn't with us, she was in the house. I said I wasn't sure how to handle it, so I thought, you know, we're just going to stop the investigation.
So it said Samantha.
That's my proper name.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Once you got Sam. Interesting. Maybe I think as well you've got to think of when this energy you I'm just trying to think back when you go into this energy and it stops you and you're like that could be someone standing there and they're going, yeah,
you're not getting in. Aye,
you're not getting in, Sam. You go past, you know, you got to get through me, and the energy just very strong. So you're like, and also I think with, you know, some people, I can explain it. Let me just think. I think they're just saying, I'm here, you're not coming through. And like you say, I can't think, I was going to say, no, just triggering something in my head there. That was something important. That's gone. Yeah, like I say, it's weird. They seem to know, obviously, and they're probably, that's just what I'm going to say, they probably recognise your fear. So therefore, oh, here she is again. So she ain't coming in here. It could have been. Did you say that was used to be a mine?
It was like it's an old colliery, like collieries. So it's like
yeah.
all the miners were like the belt for like the mines.
Could have been the foreman or someone, or could have been, I don't know if they had someone like supervising the area to make sure keeping it safe, or could be years later an old security chap who's they always know your name. They always know your names, so never take it personally, because spirits know your names. Trust me, I've had my name called at the Hopton Church, didn't I? St. Tim. So they always know your names. I don't know how they know, even when you're not mentioning your names too much. They seem to know you. I wish they'd tell us their names all the time, but they don't. But yeah, I think it's to say they get your fear as soon as they know you. Even if you don't show it, they know. They know any. They seem to know your weakness, and if they want to play on that, they will.
Because I don't feel scared. That's the thing. I don't actually feel scared when I was there. It was more I can't get in here.
Yeah.
Well, the first time when I went with Forrest and Joe, the staircase when we were on, sometimes I'll pick up stuff, sometimes I don't, but I got a strong feeling that there was somebody, a male, standing on the stairs beside, right the staircase beside me. It goes up in a kind of square, the stairs. So I was in one flight, the other flight was there, and I got this feeling there was somebody standing there, about the fourth or fifth step up. But then when Shelley and I went back the other night, I get nothing. I never felt anything. I never picked up in it. There was nothing at all until we with the names and a couple of noises. I mean, we're not saying it's paranormal. We never do, but we can't explain the noises. The other unusual thing we found when I went with Forrest and Joe was there was a draft seemed to follow us down the three flights. Now, the top floor, there's holes in the walls, so that explains that draft. But the middle floor is completely shut off.
Yeah.
Some brick walls all the way around. But there was this draft coming from the right-hand side, and then we were down the next floor, and the same draft was still, it was constant. There was no break in it. We couldn't explain it.
There's obviously someone there always a lot of these properties you go to, there's always someone watching you, and you think they follow you around, and like you say, you got the cold air or whatever coming through the draft when there shouldn't be. They're watching you because they're like, say they're an old supervisor, say an old manager, or someone important at the location. Same as graveyards. I mean, I think graveyards are quite pleasant, and I find them quite relaxing when I'm there. I don't feel it. But having said that, there's always someone who, like, we had a caretaker lady. She wasn't very happy we were there, so she kicked off. I think she called her Annabelle, and called us, some of us, a bitch. I can't remember if it was Annabelle or Natasha. Kept calling us called us a bitch. I got it on an EVP. It said bitch. Though Annabelle, I think, had picked, or Natasha had picked this nasty lady. She weren't, nasty and not very happy us being. So she weren't very nice lady, but she weren't very happy us being at the church. She was like, this is a place I look after. You're not going to be here. Bog off. Get out. But yeah, so I think there's probably someone in that place that's probably not happy you're there, and so they're probably or maybe just standing back watching and seeing what you're doing. If you do the wrong thing, you're going to probably aggravate them. So they wouldn't be. It's not like you want to do that, obviously, but it's something you might annoy, like piss them off. Excuse my language.
I came back this Sunday with one of the members of our team, one of the news members. We're going to go and do an investigation, and then next Tuesday, I thought, well, it'd be better teaming up with somebody. So there's a team up here, Caledonia, they're called. We've had them on before. We're quite close to them, so we're going in next Tuesday as well, and they're going to do an investigation, and so are we, and just to compare results. It might be a waste of time. We might get different results, or we might pick up the same thing. But I think it's better having two independent teams in the same location and seeing what each other get. And it might give us something, it might not,
It's good validation. I mean, if you pick things up like another team and they're saying very similar to what you had, that'd be really interesting. Yeah, definitely. And then come in a chat and compare your notes. Then that'd be quite interesting. Yeah, good idea. Yeah, I like that.
Donna's asking where can I watch. Donna, we tried on Facebook and we done it as a live on Sunday night, and about 3/4 it went okay, but when we moved down on the middle floor, the signal just totally dropped out.
That's
we
the
can try
witches.
it again, but if it doesn't work, then it will be on Facebook, because I'm going to record it independently on another camera as well. We will try as a live, as I say. I'll do it on another camera as well, and we'll put that up on our YouTube channel so that everybody can see exactly what happened.
Was it the internet, or was it, you know?
I think it's a location, to be fair.
That's
got a weird atmosphere.
It's when we went with Forrest and Joe, threes had phones, and we were live on one phone, and the signal went. Everybody else's phones was fine, so we swapped phones and went live on another phone, and the signal went in that one. And it happened with every phone that was getting used for the live. The signal just went, but the other phones were fine. So I mean, I'm no tech wizard, as I've always said. I can't. Maybe it's a tech thing, maybe it's not. But it just seemed that every phone we try to use for that live, it would cut off, then come back, and I don't know.
Yeah, it's like 3 places we've done lives, haven't we? We tried like 5 phones, and they're all the same problem on different networks, and that was still not letting us do it. They said no, not having it. Five phones on like all different networks, and you still can't get even a signal. Normally, you get a full signal in there. It's strange, but
yeah, must have seen it was annoying. It was annoying. That's got my internet played up all night on Sunday. It is annoying. Plus, I think the first or second time it happened on Sunday, I didn't realise, because you're that caught up in what you're doing, you don't actually realise that your signal's dropped out, and then you look at your phone, you realise you're not live anymore. And you're frantically trying to get the signal back. Your hands up in the air and everything, trying to find a signal.
Yeah, I was at the corner.
Yeah, hitting it as if you in your mind that the harder you hit it, the better the signal came back. But does the work?
We always have cameras anyway. So if we did do a live and that played up, at least we got our backup cameras to make sure, because if not, we won't capture nothing. If our phone signals, we are out in the northeast, East Anglia area, and our signals are not very good out here. Trust me, that's like thinking they got internet behind me in that house. They might even get a cup of tea in that house. You got it's terrible around here. It's the only problem. We have terrible internet around here, because we're out in the sticks partially, aren't we? Nothing for miles sometimes. But I do like it that way. Quiet.
Margaret's asking, what's the most weird experience you have had that made you believe to continue in spirit?
Too many, Margaret. Good grief. I mean, like I said, I've had so many. I mean, it all kicked off from doing a spirit board when I was 10. I think that's what really got me into the paranormal. And my picture flew off the wall and nearly hit me. That was a picture I had done. I think I was Skegness Bucklands at the time with the family, mum, dad, and that. And they did the crayon one. They sit there and draw you.
Aye.
And they'd done all that, whatever. And that was put on the wall and we didn't use string then. We used wire then, or the old washing line wire, wrapped around 4 times.
Back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day. That's like screwed to the wall. This bloody picture come flying off, and I think it just missed my head. Yeah, it just went behind me. And 3 of my friends witnessed it, and they were like freaked. We're like, oh my that's what you get from messing around with Ouija boards when you don't know what you're doing. Especially if you're a bit in tune to spirits and you don't know. And that started up from then, really. I mean, by 11, I had my first camera, and I was filming around the house, see if I could capture it, going out in the garden at night, and whatever. See the local ghost train down the road, see if that's still apparently, because you hear all these stories. This is the thing interesting. It's getting the stories. You hear all these stories. Old Nan down the, old Nan down the road. Where it's originals. She's about 19. She'll tell you the old school stories. Oh, I had this. They're the really interesting ones. They're the ones that you find out stories about these old houses or haunted, or they've seen this sort of thing. And that's when you follow up, to see if you can see anything. Really, I mean, from years ago, it was more. I think, although I had my cameras and stuff, or camera, it's more about you seeing and hearing it for me at the time, to witness it. I watching when I was about 12, watching football match of the day on a Saturday night. I'm not going to say who was the presenter then. I think it was Jimmy Hill. And God, that's going back for you. I think.
That's before my time.
Yeah, and the door opened, and the door opened behind the television. The handle went, the door opened, and I was like, I was on my own. Yeah, you were allowed then at 12. That's fine, I had to make a cool fire when I was 10. That's how hard we had it. I had to go down and finish the miner's work after 24-hour shift. No, I didn't. But you'd light a fire at my age. You'd light the fire, and before you went to bloody, when you come back from school, because there was no heating. We didn't have gas central heating then, so that would show my age. But this door anyway opened up, boom, 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 opened like. I thought, that's got to be my brother messing about, because he was a prankster. He liked playing jokes on me. So I shoot in the other room, no one there. And you see things like that happen a lot, and it gets your brain obviously scared the crap out. I couldn't sleep for weeks. I was, under the covers. Leave the light on, switch the light on, cut the light on. Because it is a petrifying. As a child, they don't. A lot of children get these experiences. We were saying that. Cal didn't even go there. Hi, Cal. I just forgot to say hi to people. I just got your messages. Yeah. I don't think. Maybe they should be. Can you teach kids about the paranormal? I don't know. If they watch things like, I'm not saying Scooby Doo, but some kids are in tune and very spiritual. A lot of people will tell you. And then I've got no guidance. Then I've got no. Cow will tell you herself. She said, from a child, she didn't know what was going on. And if you said anything to your parents, "Oh, don't be so stupid and stop eating at like 11 o'clock at night before you go to bed. That's why you're having these nightmares and stuff like that, or you're seeing these things." Oh, crikey. I don't know. Should there be an educational part of it as another thing? I mean, that's the thing. I think there should be. I think there'd be some sort of limit on what they can say. You're not going to say, "Yeah, you got to reminisce thing, boo," like that. And you're going to teach kids like that, but you can educate them in a way of, maybe if you're feeling seeing certain things, what that could be, like a bit of an educational thing into the paranormal, a little bit. Did you want to scare the heebie-jeebies out of people? What's that, Jimmy Hill?
Jimmy Hill done getting Gary Walker from Walker's Crisps.
Yeah, Jimmy Hill. That's the one. Yeah, he did. 5.5 million a year. I think he gets paid, Gary Lineker.
And what you're saying about little ones, Tim, Werner, we wee one's 5, and she loves Greyfriars. When anybody watches your channel will know that we, as I saying, home to us now, Greyfriars, and we don't take her in the dead of night or anything like that, just to get that out there. We don't take her like 3 in the morning and stuff, you know. But we took her quite a few times. We took her about 2 weeks ago. It was a beautiful sunny day we went in, and she wandered off herself. Obviously, I was, you know, behind her, but she wandered off herself, trying to find ghosts. You know, asking if there was any ghosts in that, and she loved it. And then Sarah and I went ourselves last week because the wee one was at school, and we told the wee one when we came back with air fryers, and she's like that. Why did you go without me?
Yeah,
you know, and she's surprised.
There's loads,
And
Scott. Loads and loads of kids. I mean, I'll get kids. Sometimes I get like kids who message me, and I don't know how old they are. I mean, I assume they're, you know, young. You learn as you go, and then you think, well, we check this person out before you answer the question. You know, there's little things they give away, like the spelling's not quite right, and then I ask them, I say, can I ask how old you are? They can lie, but I say to them, like, you know, if you're 12, I don't mind as long as you let me know, and then, you know, have you got your parents' permission to ask me, you know, to message me? Now they can lie again, so you have to be very careful with what you say and stuff like that. But you try and speak to their parents. That's the most important thing, because these parents, the child's having bloody, you know, these spirits pulling their feet at night, or pulling their leg, or, you know, or banging on the table at night, scaring them. They go to their parent and say, I've had some banging in that. Yeah, whatever, yeah, we'll get back to bed. Don't be so silly, you know, it's nothing, go on. And that carries on for a long time. That puts the fear of God into these kids. I mean, is it best to educate them in a certain way to say, you know, someone you can speak to, you know, and say, you know, oh, I've had this experiences and stuff like that. What do you think? You know, and then educate them to say, oh, because some kids, like, well, like a lot of kids can be gifted, and if they got no education as a young child, if the you know, sometimes the mother's gifted or the dad's gifted, so they know, pick up on the gift, but not all parents are. Some kids are gifted and not their parent ain't got a clue that, you know, well, they don't even know they're gifted, you know, so they don't ignore the kids and go, yeah. But it's keeping the interest, a little bit of. I mean, I was always interested in the paranormal, so I say, since I was young. So I always wanted to ask questions. Would you get asked your teacher and say, teacher, I saw a ghost the other night. What do you think? You know, you'd be go, don't be so stupid. Yeah, don't be so stupid. You get back to your touch. Yeah, I've had some stories.
I mean, sorry, Tim, we've done an investigation in here twice, and we were told that we've got a spirit of a wee boy in here, and he likes to be in the cupboard, in one of the bedroom cupboards. Now, whether that's true or not, we don't know. But the wee one said to me last week or the week before, just casual, as he likes, she came up and says, Dad, I just heard the noise. I said, all right, did you? Baby girl says, aye, is that boy in the cupboard again? But it didn't bother her. She said, it's him, that boy in the cupboard again. And then she toddled off, and she went, if you know, it was nothing. And well, I mean, we're not teaching her about the paranormal, you know, we don't sit down and teach her, but if she asks anything, we try and explain to her in a good way, kind of thing, you know. But
yes, I think it should be done. I think, you know, if you don't, if you can't educate the children, then at least try and, what we do, we try and educate the parent to say, you know, they say, well, what's these things been going on with my child and all that, and we say to them, you know, it could be paranormal until you investigate it more, and then you find out. Obviously, we don't, when we do the home investigation, we don't have no children there to start with. If it's connected with a child, then that's where you're going to have to draw the line. What do you have the child there? Because that's their child. The child is having the experience. You know, it's difficult to judge what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do. You know, do you involve the child a little bit to see if we can ask them a couple of questions, or don't you? It's so difficult, very difficult, because you don't want to push too much. Yeah, you want answers for them, but you don't want to say, can we have a word with your child? And they might say no. If that's really important, like there's been physically thing, then you got the consequences of say, well, is it a paranormal or is it something else? Abuse, So you got to be very thin line on what, you got to have the eyes about your head to say whether it's paranormal or is it abuse. Because we've had cases similar to that where we're not sure which way it was going. I mean, luckily it was paranormal in the end, but it's very close at the time. The kid's got bloody bruises here and marks here and stuff, and scratches here and stuff.
That's
it was paranormal. And then you got to act. Yeah, and this has to be sorted out now. We need something done now because we can't. And obviously moving the child, sometimes it'll help, sometimes it won't. In most cases it does. It's normally the location, not just the child, they're just being in there at the wrong time, at the wrong place and the wrong time, so to speak. So you got to be. It's not as though it's all a clear, an open book about paranormal. There's a lot of different situations connected to it. Like I say, so you got to be very, very careful.
Yeah, Margaret's got an interesting question. Never been asked this one before, so I'll let you answer this one, Tim.
Oh yeah. Do you get sexual dreams from spirit? I used to go off it with them until. What do you mean to go off it? I used to go off it. What you get off with a spirit? Did you mean, or you get? Do you get? Let me read that again. Let's go. I say something more.
Do you get sexual dreams to go off it with them?
Oh right, no. Well, I've never. Well,
she used to get angry. Maybe.
Oh, I've heard about people having. I don't want my family to have to go with what I've done through spirit. Oh, it's. Hang on, family to have to go with that. What I've gone through spirit. Right. Okay. So, what was it? I think that's a personal thing, Margaret. I think that's something. I'm not sure if about the sexual nature of a spirit. I've heard of it. I've heard
incubus and succubus, isn't it?
Yeah, sexual assault. I think we've done a chat on that before, where a lady said she was sexually assaulted by a spirit. It was, and it is. I wouldn't say it isn't possible, because I'd say it is possible, because I feel like abusive and sexual predators, where they're alive, will probably be the same when they're dead. That's possible. I wouldn't say it wouldn't. That's such dreams I didn't understand, but now I do. So you think that the sexual dreams were connected with the paranormal through a spirit? That's possible. I've heard that as well. I think I'm just reading the comment down there. Yeah, that is possible. And you try explaining that to your, to friends and stuff like that. They'll just laugh. Some people would laugh at you. And go, you're off your trolley. You need to see a psychiatrist. But it does happen, and it doesn't mean they are, crazy or anything like that. They're just normal folks. Phil, blimey, be careful how you read that. I know I had to be. But yeah, there's been the cases of sexual abuse. Oh, hang on, I'll get my ladder. On myself.
Sorry, mate. I pressed that too early. Sorry.
You're fine.
My daughter's 3 and started to tell me about the spirits she sees. I believe her, as I see and feel them myself. Some scare her, but others she talks to. I told her they usually want to talk to her. She's got a special gift, but if she doesn't want to talk to them, just let them know. I would never tell her it's not real, as she's experiencing it.
Yes, I think that's something you just have to keep an eye on, and when she start asking questions, and there's questions you might not be able to answer, maybe then try and get some help from obviously someone who does know what they're talking about, and maybe see it as a way of educating them a little bit in a way. That's what I was saying about earlier, and I think it would be a benefit for you, because at least you can get the child to understand a little bit of what's going on, and that not to be frightened, blah blah blah. If it gets to a bit where the child's had enough and go, look, blah, 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 then you need to seek help, through someone who know what they're doing, obviously, and recommended, and then find out what's going on. Because people think kids make stuff up, or they do, but majority they don't. The things I witnessed, and I told my mum and dad, and they were like, or half the time I didn't even tell them half the stuff, because I thought, well, I'm not. They'll think I'm going crazy, and is this really happening? So that's the thing, to be open about it. I think to your. That's always saying to a child, be open to your parents, because a lot of kids won't tell you nothing. The little buggers. I was the same.
That's true. You tell you half of what they know.
I think it's all to do with that, and understanding parents who think something's not right here. This, she's seeing these things and blah blah blah. And I think if it's something you don't know and you don't understand, obviously seek just to talk to a medium or something, like someone who maybe is better. I think if it's a friend who's a medium's good. Because you can relate a bit more to it, and they can sort of guide you a little bit what to say, or things like that, and why to keep an eye on it. Like what Cal was saying, Cal and Robin's the same. A lot of mediums I spoke to never had any help whatsoever, which is ignored. And they didn't know themselves what was going on. They saw shadow figures. I think Robin said that many times. They don't know what's going on. And if they had a bit of help from someone, and then I think that would have been better for them as when you get a certain age, you can 15, 16, you can start learning, and you can start speaking to people who really know what they're doing, and you educate yourself from that. It's a spirit way of telling. What's that, Tom? It's a spirit way of telling this is going on now. People have sexual abuse. Yes, yeah, I've heard of it, Margaret. Definitely, I've spoken to a few people with cases of it, and that was a very nice thing. I mean, they were said about calling the police on the situation, but I don't think the police would have just laughed at them. We get UFOs over here, and people call the police over that. I've done a newspaper article about it. Calling the police ain't going to do nothing unless they're firing lasers at you. That's what I used to say. Little green men dropping down on you. Get off, And then then call the police. But they don't want to know. They report back. A lot of police are interested in the paranormal, and a lot of police are interested in the UFOs, but it's getting the right ones.
That's true. Just talk about kids, you talk about animals as well. Sorry, Tim. John's saying, where is it? Love a paranormal detector dog. Animals are really in tune.
Yes.
Yeah. But which is another interesting thing, says in our cat. That's true. We've got two cats, and our darker one. Yeah. She seems to. There's certain points in the house she'll just stop and stare. One's a corner at the ceiling. The other time she'll sit in the bed and she'll stare directly out into the hallway. If somebody's standing there, and she's quite. It's quite intense the way she just sits and stares. What do you think, Tim, about animals being very?
Oh, definitely. I've witnessed it myself many times. You got to think that their hearing is way better than ours, probably 100 times better. Their vision's better than ours. The smell's better than ours. And I've witnessed it many times. It's a dog's just. Well, I'll tell you one story. I'll tell when my other half parents moved into a house. They just moved there and been there not a lot, 5 minutes. We get in there, and the dog in there, their dog, was looking at something in the corner, in the wall bit, and he was staring at it. This I can't remember what his dog's name now, but he was staring at it. Something there, and then it was playing with it. It went down on all paws like this at the front. That's wagging its tail, and that just like watching it and doing the old movement that was playing. And it could have been, it could have been, you know, I think it. I mean, it could have been a spirit, or could have been an animal spirit. This is the question, because it was definitely playing with something, and there's nothing there. There's absolutely nothing there. Well, wow, that's me. They're all carrying stuff in the house. That's me staring at the dog. Get my camera. Panicking to get this on recorded. Yeah, definitely. It's so sensitive to spirit. Definitely, no doubt.
The scary one that I've seen. I mean, what you're saying there, Tim, with the dog, I think I told this story before, but I'll make it quick. My dad, you know, he's passed many years ago, but he had two wee chihuahuas, two tiny wee things. One was nice, and the other was just a vicious little git, for want of a better word. Every time I went something to be put in the kitchen, you know, before my dad would let me in the house, it would just immediately go for you. So the night my dad passed, it was late on at night, and I brought my stepmom home after the hospital, you know, came in, and she's coming in for a coffee, says aye, and this wee dog was in the kitchen. So I sat in my dad's chair, and my stepmom accidentally left the kitchen door open. So this wee thing came belting out the kitchen, and I was, you know, just going to say goodbye to my ankles, basically. But it stopped, and it jumped up my lap and started cuddling into my lap.
Oh, right.
Totally. Whereas before, I went straight and bit your ankles. It just paused, jumped up in the lap and cuddled in. And every time I went down to the house after that, it would come up and sit beside me. Even if I was sitting in my dad's wheel, we still called it my dad's chair. If I was sitting in my dad's chair or sitting on the couch, this wee dog would come up and sit and just query into me every time. Total change. And, you know, I'm not saying it was my dad or whatever, but it was just very, very
Possibly.
weird. You know, you would need to have seen this dog prior.
Sometimes you get loved ones can leave smells, you know. I mean, the ones we used to get was flowers. That used to be amazing, the smell of flowers. Like someone just shoved a big bunch of flowers. And we believe that was my mum, because she loved the flowers. And you'd get a big whiff, and someone just shoved that in, like a big bunch. Go, what, you know, whoa, you know, oh, gee. And some people can actually get the smell. They can get it on them. So they go, I can smell. God, I smell lovely today. Why do I smell like flowers? And I didn't before. You know, I'd sweaty armpits before, but that's really weird when it's. I mean, we see this spiritual thing as the other side. So, like they say, it's always like a wall. They're the spirits on that side. We're on this side, alive, past. But I just wonder sometimes. You know, I've seen muddy footprints. What we believed was from spirits. So it left a physical thing behind, muddy footprints. It's a physical thing, which didn't seem possible, does it? You know, you thought, no, I'm not buying that. You know, but I've witnessed it. There's lots of there was like 14 of us witnessed it as young kids at school. The oldest caretaker. That's a good story, that one. And the footprints gone right across the bloody canteen, and it's a legend now at our old school. Which I'm impressed with, because I started the legend there. I think my paranoia. And yeah, but I can't understand how the physical side can come through. They say that ectoplasm, whatever, can, you know, it's part of the spiritual thing. I've never witnessed nothing like that before. You know, a handprint that's left on a mirror, which I've seen things like that, and a footprint left in gardens that was never there before. Just left something physical, which is saying, well, they can come on our side, and spiritual people, I think, mediums are slightly going into their side. I think it's where your EVPs come through. It's like picking up maybe through that side of the wall. So it's picking the sound up. That's where your dogs and cats can come in, because they could hear that.
they're
hearing that. They can hear that. So I think they probably get used to it. If it's a very haunted place, they probably go, oh, not him again. It's weird how you can get physical stuff on your side, if you know what I mean. That blows my mind. That do. So you wouldn't think that's possible, would you?
Yeah.
That's another step that I've witnessed. And
sometimes it smells as well. I mean, we were in Edinburgh. Sam was there on yesterday. Yesterday. And we're lucky enough to get to Covenanters prison and the Black Mausoleum as well. And on the way back, now we stay in Kilmarnock, which is about 60 miles from Edinburgh, and it's mostly more. On the way back, I kept getting the smell of chalk. Do you remember in school, you used to get a big
that's right.
Made a distinct smell. All the way back along the motorway, I kept getting this smell of chalk. And as when we get back to Kilmarnock, I got it again. I says to Sam, and she could smell it as well.
Yeah.
And
weird, isn't it?
I can't explain it. I don't have a clue. But it was just, it smells like school, the old school.
I couldn't smell it the first time. But then when Scott mentioned it again, I was like, you can actually. It's like, see how you used to get like the big fat bits of chalk, like really, really powdery. It was like that.
I got hit by many at school, so don't you worry about that. or the board, the whiteboard thing, that come out of you.
I got smacked in the head with the blackboard rubber thing that.
The best way to describe it is, remember the dust teachers used to use, the rectangle with the felt, and they would thing it, wipe off. I don't know if anybody ever done this. I've done it. I used to go up to the board and the teacher was in the class, and you'd go with that on the blackboard, she'd do it, and the dust would come off. It was actually that smell. I don't know what it was. It was just really distinct.
I'll tell you one of the good ones is when we were looking at a location. It's this old 16th century house, amazing place, and we were looking around it, and we were assessing it for an investigation, blah blah blah. And we're going around it, and we were going to walk past this window bit past the window through a doorway, and we got this massive smell of flowers. I just hit you, boom, woo. And I hate flowers because I'm allergic to flowers. So I was like, oh, God. My missus say, yeah, that's why you don't bloody buy me any. But especially lilies, I can't stand lilies. Oh my God, I can't breathe.
The stink of cat pee.
Oh, do they knock me for six? Anyway, we got this big, and there was a bunch of flowers near there. So obviously, we smelt this big bunch of like flowers walk past. It could have been perfume, I suppose, in a way. We tell her, it must be the flowers inside of that. And the lady was with, she go, no, they're plastic. So, right, okay, that's cool. And then the smell just went, as though it was there for 1 minute, it's gone the next. That's the usual. And just as we went round the corner, the blooming door slammed just down just
that's what happened to me.
Up. The door just went bang, slammed. Because I think Natasha's really, bless her. I mean, she's upset some spirits sometimes, but she don't mean to. She's not a person that upset anyone, but she say the wrong things. She go, "Oh, that stunk! That could have been the lady's perfume," and then the door slammed. And I went, "Oh no, that's what you just said." Like we did at the Priory place, and she said, "These, what do they call?" She was moaning about the bricks. She said, "What did they lovely old bricks? Dating God knows how long the building part. They moved them." She said, "What do they? Like a historian. What they go move them built bricks for? That's a bit silly." Then she got called damn her, weren't she, on the live, an EVP saying damn her, and a few other words I think were captured. But it's weird, isn't it, that you complain about the smell and then a door slams down there, probably in frustration. He's upset. That's my perfume. You sound about that, you dirty bag, and slammed the door behind it. Because she's been called everything under the sun. So I know she wouldn't mind me calling her that. and she knows she's not like that.
I mean, that's the thing, you know, that's one thing I love about the paranormal. There's that many ways that spirit tries to. Hi, Vale Doll, everything's going great. Just quick say hello to Robin as well. Hi, Doll, thanks for coming in.
Hi, Robin.
It's
Hi, Misty.
Can sometimes try to get in touch with you, and if you told, you know, other people, they would think you were insane. You know, they would think you were absolutely nuts. But it actually does.
Yeah. I don't think of that anymore. People look at me like I'm gone crazy, and I think, well, think what you like. I don't care. You know, I'm like, yeah, get a straitjacket on me and lock me up if you want, because I know what I see and I know what I hear, and I'm never going to change my way. I ain't going to turn around and say, you know, I've witnessed these things, and oh no, I didn't. You know, even if it was a job interview to be Prime Minister, and they said, don't say that you believe in spirits or you've witnessed paranormal activity, because I'll say, no, I'm still going to say, because that's the way I say what I feel. You know, I'm a straightforward person. I don't beat around the bush. That's probably my problem. I don't do fake stuff. You know.
No, you don't.
No, I do. If I find people doing that, really irritates me. Really, when I see some fake stuff or I get videos sent to me in it, I just block them straight away.
Don't even start me on that subject. But I mean, some of the things that quick example, I used to moan flat and I loved myself, and I've told this one before. And I was a creature of habit. Every night before when I turned the TV off, I'd take the remote and I'd place it in front of the TV on the wee stand thing every night, so as I knew where it was. I went to turn the TV on one day and the remote wasn't there. Couldn't find it anywhere. Searched it. It was a one-bedroom flat, hunted the house, and then just by sheer chance, I spotted something black underneath my bed. I had a double bed, and I looked down, and it was a TV remote. It was underneath, about halfway underneath the bed, and I knew for damn sure I wouldn't have put it there, you know, and nobody had been in the house, because, you know, I loved myself. And I told people in work about this, and they all thought I was nuts. Says, you must have put it there. And I thought, think about it. Why would I put my TV remote halfway underneath my double bed? There's no reason for me to do it.
No.
You know what I mean? It's just, I couldn't explain it. But, you know, I was on the, and I was when I thought, what the hell's that? And then I looked, so there's my bloody remote there.
I had a Christmas tag ripped off one of my presents, and thrown in the middle of the front room. We could never, and it was covered in a blanket. So work that one out. We've had dog had you get all the dogs to poor Kipper, bless him, with his toys, all these beds and stuff, perfectly lined up next to his bed. The beds were head to toe in a line, and all the boards were all perfectly from big to small in a line. Something out of the Poltergeist movie, I tell you. And we could not work that. There's no way. I know Kip was an intelligent dog, but I don't think he never sorted his dogs out, his toys out ever. You know, they're everywhere. You know what I mean? Trip over the damn thing. That was interesting.
I bet they're all lined up. All been saying our remote went missing, and it's never ever found it. Margaret was asked where I find it again. Margaret dog, give me a wee second. How do you connect with spirit?
How do you connect with spirit? I think it's just something that you. I say you definitely need to do a blessing before you start. And you do that before you start any paranormal activity. That's important. And you just ask some questions. You know, we do like to. We used now to record and stuff, but you can, even if you got your camera, just for instance, like mobile phones now are superb, because you got a recording app on there. You got your camera to take a picture. You can do video on it. And like you said before, there's apps for EVP stuff and all that sort of thing. But basically, what I used to do is just ask if they'd come forward. say you know, be polite, always be polite and respectful, and just say, can you show, like, if you got a camera, can you show yourself to me, please? And then take a few pictures. I've got a camera. I want to take a few pictures, if you don't mind. And then you take a few pictures, and hopefully they'll show themselves on camera. That's quite good. Or if you're asking EVPs, you got a recorder on your phone if you ain't got much money, and mind you, probably ain't got a phone then. But we used to have the old tape recorders. Yeah, you know, the spiral ones that do what we call a bird's nest. That's all your evidence. All your evidence. Yeah.
These are something. These are something they were called the cassettes. You know, for taping the charts.
Top of the pops on a Sunday. Yeah, they're the days. And like you said, when you do paranormal recordings on tape, you make sure there's a brand new one, because you can get what we call ghosting on it, where if you record something or record over something, so it wouldn't be classed as a genuine evidence then, because you might get something you recorded before, like a song at Top of the Pops, say George Michael's song on there, and that would go over to the other one, you know.
1982.
Do you think you captured George Michael on there, you know, saying "Wham, thank you, ma'am" or something? So
you never know.
Please don't sing Robbins. And always at our garage, we went almost 4 months and found when I pulled in the driveway, sitting always up and around, not in a log, so weird it wasn't even windy. That is. But Maggie makes a good point there, just on the subject connecting with spirit. Spirit will only interact if they want to. To me, that's bang on. You know, that's spot on. I've always said it's like fishing. You know, you can sit for hours and get nothing, or you can sit for minutes and get something.
Mm-hmm.
I also, if you're doing a location, don't expect to go straight the first night you go, or whenever you go, day or night, and you go there and capture something, because it probably ain't going to happen. I think the thing is that they got. It's like going in a pub, say for instance, and you go in a strange pub you've never been in. Who's going to really speak to you? Really, that's what give you the stare. You know, the American Werewolf in London stare. What are they doing in my pub? You know, you get it. I don't know if that was any good. But
you're showing your age, American Werewolf in London cassette.
Oh, I love old stuff. I watch Laurel and Hardy. You worry.
I love them.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah, you can't beat them. The thing is with it is to get to know them, and they get to know you, and they get used to you. God knows how many places we've done 50 times, say for instance, and you still don't get much evidence, and then you go the 52nd time and then they'll open up. It's one of them things where they might not ever want to come forward, but sometimes they think, oh, I remember, like Sam has been to that place before a few times, and now they know your name. Might be in a way that you might have spoke to, you know, you're talking away to Scott, and they've heard, yes, Sam, can you just grab that, please? Boom, they're watching, they're listening, and they know
something
your name.
As simple as that.
Yeah, you know, just for instance. So it's just definitely get to be friends with them. You know, if you're just in a situation where someone just turn up and knocked on your door, or not even knocking door and come in, you'd be thinking, who are you? Get out of my house, you know, what are you doing in there? You know, some stranger coming. It's the same with the locations in these areas. They don't know where you are. They don't want you there. Why would you be there? That's most peaceful until you turned up with your cameras and lights and stuff. Bloody typical people, right? Coming in, and I'm having a peaceful sit in the afternoon in. There you all piling in here with all your cameras and stuff. So let's get to, you know, it's just to get to be friendly, you know, and they get to know you. And the more they know you, the more they'll open up a bit more, and the more you can communicate with them. If you're like a robot when you speak to them, you know, a bit of sometimes you can have a bit of a joke with them, and that might work. But be friendly. It's not good like a robot. What's your name? What's your age? Where do you come from? And things like that. If you're just like a competitive like robot, then I wouldn't want to talk to you. I find you boring. Go away.
Exactly. I mean, we've been quite lucky so far since the restrictions totally eased here. We've been out on things about 5 investigations, and we've not had major results, but we've had something at every investigation. With a REM pod going off, cat ball going off. We've had words come through the apps, stuff like that. The EMF meter going up, things like that. And then yesterday we were at the Covenanters, we're in the Black Mausoleum, and we had the app on, and the answers we were getting were, I know a lot of people think these apps, and I'm not disagreeing with them when I say this, that they're pre-programmed words-wise, there's words already in there.
Yeah,
word bank is when you ask a question and you get a specific answer, more or less straight back. Yesterday Sam was there. We asked a couple of questions, and 3 times we get no. And Sam's name came through, and then we basically asked him, "Do you want Scott here?" And he says no. And Sam said, "Do you want me here?" And he came through, yes. It's things like that. So I left. Well, I stood at the entrance and left Sam and herself. But it's when you get these answers more or less a second or two after you ask a specific question. Like, see, we did an old chat a couple of weeks ago, and we get 4 different names through the app. And so we asked, are you, I think one name was Roy. And the minute we asked that, I said, make the lights go up to yellow. Make the light go to yellow if this is Roy. And immediately it went to yellow. Could be coincidence, we're always going to try and debunk this kind of stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
It just seemed a bit coincidental that when I said make it go to yellow and it went to, and we've got it on camera.
I'll tell you one of the experiments we used to try. I used to love doing this one. When you got REM pods, for instance, I always have 2 REM pods, right? And then you'll say to them, if you're here and you want to communicate, and set this green light off, because there's normally just a green light on a REM pod, and that flashes, right? Then you say, can you do it to the other one? and they do it. And then say, can you do it to 2 of them at the same time? And they both do it. That then more validates as an investigator. Think, whoa, hang on, what's going on here? What's the chances of 2 REM pods going off at the same time? If you've got 4 REM pods, you do it with 4 REM pods and so forth. And the more you can get all of them lighting up at the same time, it more validates your that it's just not, what's the chance of it? Some sort of electric current coming through and saying it wouldn't happen, would it, in a million years? It could do, but it's like winning the lottery, wasn't it? It's like that. And when you do EVP records, I always try 2 EVP recordings at the same time. Like we'll use 4 cameras at the same time, up to 4 cameras at the same time, and try and capture maybe the EVP on all 4. Like we had one on the live, we had one on the backup camera, and something on another camera, the same EVP, which is quite amazing if you can do that. It don't always work. Sometimes you get EVP on one camera, not the other. So it's validation of everything you do. It's important. So we set the bar.
We had the REM pod go off in that power station, and none of us were near it. And so we tried walking by it, we tried stamping our feet round about it, and nothing would make it go up, and it went off itself. So I mean, it's things like this when you can't make something go off, and then it just goes off itself. There's Shelley talking about she's talking about the Brigadoon investigation Sam and Shelley done, and then led us on to Shanta.
Yes. It's validation. Yeah, like Carol just said there down the bottom, as the relevant to the question. So if you asked, like we did, like I think one place I said, what's flying around in here, and I said bats straight off. And so it's intelligent, and the more responsive and intelligent answers you get, the more that it validates that you know this is not coincidence here. This is beyond coincidence. And that's what I think. That's what it's all about. If you can validate that, and that makes the night. And when you capture something amazing, EVP, I think it just validates the night. It's like, wow, fantastic. That'll do.
Right.
I'm happy with that. We got something, and that's what gets me. That's the exciting thing about it. That's what I like.
I like the laser grid and the cat balls. We done an investigation at an old cut card. Forrest and Shelley were there, and I was doing the intro. And just through the corner of my eye, I caught one of the cat balls. Nobody was anywhere near it. Shelley, I was Shelley and Forrest. They were over to this side of me. The cat ball was down there, and I managed to get the camera around before the cat ball turned off again. But it just went totally off itself, and there was nobody anywhere. There was another cat ball beside it. So if it had been the wind or some kind of vibration, the two of them would have went off, but just one of them went off.
Yeah.
So you know, and you do. In fact, it's on our Facebook page that we've been lucky enough to get most of it on camera, which you know yourself, Tim. Sometimes it's really hard to do. It usually happens off camera, but we've been fortunate so far that we've caught most of it. It's only little wee bits and pieces, but sometimes that's all you need. Just a wee cat ball going off, or one name or something.
Also, there's certain locations we go to as well where we don't use any cameras because they don't like them. So we get more responsive for having no cameras, which is unfortunate. That's something we witness, but we don't record. But it's more active when there's no cameras rolling. That's a strange one. They don't like the cameras, so we said, well, we'll try an hour or so with no cameras, nothing rolling, nothing. And it's amazing how active it goes with having nothing, no apps, no REM pods, no nothing. You'd be surprised how active a place can be when they start saying, we know you got your little balls and your little lighty things. We're not going to communicate with you tonight. You can bog off. As soon as you shut everything down and just sit quietly, you'll be surprised.
That's when it starts.
The footsteps coming past and things breathing in your ear, and you get all the smells, and they're just like ballistic. And I think I really want to switch my camera on, but I know if I do, and as soon as you switch your camera on, nothing.
Well, I just was dead with Forrest. She was with us that night, and she went a wee wander herself with the camera, and she says when she came back, now the location we were at, Sam will tell you, is in the middle of nowhere. You know, there's no houses, nothing.
Good.
Surrounded by fields and trees. There's nothing for 3-4 miles. Forrest came back to me and says, did you hear that child screaming? And we thought, well, we never heard that. We thought, no, we never heard anything. There's no children about here, you know. She's not. And then, so today, she'd managed to find the footage and she narrowed it down. And she sent it to me, and about 10 seconds in, you can clearly hear a child either shouting or screaming. And there's
nobody there.
No, it's in the middle of nowhere this time. And we can't explain it.
I just wish that was easier to do. Like you heard the child screaming and that. I just wish there was. See, I'll have to find a story to that voice. And it frustrates me when I can't always get the story to the voice. You know, why was that child you recorded crying? Was it something that happened to her? Is it something that she was just playing and she fell over and hurt her knee, and then later on she passed? And why was that voice there? Or is it something, you know? Is she over the other side, obviously, and she's why would she be screaming? What, you know, is it probably something echoed from the past that was happened when she was alive, maybe? it's so difficult, and getting that story and everything connected to it is
We
a
can
buzz.
actually try and do that because in that kirkyard there is a child's grave. There's multiple children buried in this one. We don't know why yet. This was the first time we'd actually done an investigation in the place, but we can certainly look into it. But there is a headstone. I think I put it on camera, and there is several children buried in that, in this laid to rest in this
plot. Right,
okay,
yeah. So there could be a connection there. It's so, you know what I mean? It's so difficult to validate what you heard, what you recorded to one of the graves. It's like needle in a haystack, because unless there's a connection, that's where you're communicating to say their age, their name, and things like that. If you can it's certainly important to get their names. If you can get their names, then you can check on the church register and stuff like that, or the local library, and you can check that person was there at the time, and maybe there was an accident at the time, or there may be something. And we got one where there was a child who drowned, and we got circus and stuff like this and things like that, and we found out that there was a bridge disaster where 50 children drowned, not that far, and they were watching a clown going along the river at the time. But we did get a first name. I can't remember the first name, but we did get a first name. But unfortunately, it didn't match up on the child who died. That's strange. So we couldn't get that connection in the end. No connection to the drowning for the 50 children or whatever it was, but we never got the name connected to that. So that's frustrating. It's really frustrating that we can't get always get the evidence you want.
I'll need to look at the footage again. I can't remember off the top of my head if the names are on the gravestone, or I know it says here lies the children or something like that, but I can't remember if they're actually named. So I can check back. I'm writing on my, as ever, got the trusty pad. I'm going to check back on that to see if the names are actually on the headstone. I do saying here lies the children, or here rests the children. So
I'm glad you do it, Scott, because a lot of teams don't bloody bother. They don't write nothing down. They don't write times, dates, or anything. And when you do capture some evidence, if you got nothing to back all the times, dates, and everything, and research into the area, I think it gives it more validation, and I think that's more of a buzz for me to, validate something that's linked to what you heard. If you can do that, it's brilliant. I'm glad you do, Scott, do that, because a lot of teams don't.
Mr. Cat, I seem to remember some. They maybe were, Mr. Cat. You got a better memory than me, though.
And me.
I'm going to check the footage again just to see, and if it does show some names, it's like maybe about a 20-minute drive for here. So I'm going to go down. If I can't see it on the footage, I'm going to go down and have a look at the headstone and write the names down. But no, I think you need to, write stuff down and remember it, because, as you say, it can validate your research, and it gives you a starting point.
Yes. That's so important for especially at home investigations. You got to find the history of the property. If you ask, maybe information you get is important, so you can validate and link things together. And when you do, it's amazing. It gives you like you say, like you solved the case. Another more like another fine mess you got me into. No, that's more like that for me. No, it validates things, and I think it's important that I'm not criticising teams going out there at all. I think it's brilliant that people are getting involved in it and enjoy what they do. But when I see some people just having the camera in the face, going, "Yeah, we can we go around, yeah, and we can, yeah, how's things, yeah, give us a like, blah blah blah.
That's no way. But I mean, I'm no expert by any means.
And what's that?
Live there. I've just mastered. You know, when you're on the live with your phone, I've just mastered how to actually turn the camera on and still see the comments. And so somebody there, you know, I'm afraid, and I do apologise, folks, to whoever watched it. There was about 30% of the time all people were seeing was my fat face on the screen. But the camera was facing the other way, you know. So I do apologise. But also, Brian, when we talk about research and that, and it's something I'm going to look into about the kids, but there was also the second occasion we went to that night. There was a crypt, there was another headstone we found, and it was a mother and father and 3 children. I don't know if you remember this one, or Forrest, if you're watching, but all 3 children passed away before they reached the age of 11. The mother and father. So it makes you wonder, why did these 3 kids all pass away? The oldest was 11, the other ones were like 1 and 3 or something. So it makes you wonder, why did these 3 children, or why did this couple lose the 3 children before they turned 11? Was it disease? Was it some kind of condition that the kids had? Was it something darker? You know, it does raise questions. Whereas
we have been asked to solve cases as well in the past, which I can't say too much about, but we have had cases come forward where they want us to get involved in solving the case. Missing persons, we get that. They're difficult because you can't, you know, and I communicate with different mediums involved, and they see if they can come up with stuff, and then I forward it on to see, you know, it's really bad. I mean, it's good that we can help, but if you don't, it's frustration if you don't get, if the mediums can't find out, and, you know, and I feel like we're going to let them down before we even start. So we must say to them, you know, we can't guarantee anything. But we can try. They always say to me, well, it's better than nothing. I ain't got nothing. My sister's missing for 10 years. I just want to know what happened. And we say, well, if that's what you want, we can try. We'll give it a go. You know, we're here to help. We'll give it a go. And we're looking at maps and the case. We're looking into a complete, from disappearance cases to like murder cases, and that is quite. I enjoy doing that. Because we're looking on maps. We've got people looking on each little road where, you know, they could have gone this way. What was down here? Was a dodgy lake down there, you know? And then the spirits will come up with names and see if we can connect it to anything. Yeah, it's quite interesting.
Interesting. Sorry, Tim, where you go?
Sorry, guys, just before I'm going to have to log off as I'm working in the morning.
Right, okay, Sam, no more. Thanks for coming in, dog.
Right, no bother. I'll speak to you soon. Nice to speak to you again, Tim.
Yeah, thank you, Sam. And let us know how you get on when you go back to that place. I'll see if I can get some ideas about that person blocking you going in there.
Yeah.
I'll get some ideas for you.
That's great. Thank you.
All right. Okay.
Good night, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye.
But I mean, as you say, research, I'm quite big on research. I think it's really important because you need to know if there's any facts behind, you know, whatever it is you're investigating. And we're lucky enough now that, I mean, we're 17 strong now, and we've got
17. Good grief. You've got more than us.
17, no, 18, sorry, because we took somebody else on tonight. So it's 18. We're starting our own country.
You've got your own country. You got your own town. We'll have to call you Lord Scott soon. Good grief.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. You know. Hi, Sherry. I said 18 years now, so we've got quite a few researchers And, you know, I'll say, right, you know, I want you to dig up as much as you can on this or on that kind of thing. And you need to, not just to validate what you find, but also let's, you know, people who watch you, you know, let's them know, well, you know, do you remember, let's say that headstone that Misty was saying with all the kids, and we can find out information on that, then we can put it across and say, well, this is what we found, you know.
Yes, yes. If you get, we had a case. Oh, God, I can't remember now. I mean, watch because some of them are still private. About someone being shot during World War II. A bloke had an affair on. A bloke had an affair on his wife. She had an affair on her husband. Sorry, I'll get that right. And yeah, you get these interesting stories that come up, and they come up from nowhere. You know, you're talking to our Ghosted box, and some of the things we get through. We got an argument of a woman and two blokes at the time, and you hear gunshots, and they mentioned this, that, and you think, what the hell's going on here? You know, they're having their own little conversation. We're just listening in. You get that a lot, you know. Someone asked me, do spirits talk to each other? I go, of course they do, you know. We've witnessed that many times. They have their little convo. That's definitely, it wouldn't stop yapping. Yeah, and
so you make his head get back. Okay, Shelley, though.
No, well, as long as he's happy, that's the main thing.
Oh, we're over the moon. You know, the team's going.
You know, I'm only kidding anyway. But yeah, like I said, and we get all this information. We go, wow, hang on, boom, 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 and you look, because obviously we've written it down, you know, write it down somewhere. So we're looking through it and trying to it's a puzzle. What happened? And it went about 2 years later or more, I think, something like that. We got someone who was telling us a story about very exactly same story about a bloke who went away to fight during the World War II, and then she met this American, had an affair with him. He come back and shot them both dead, caught them in bed. Right. And so we hear this story, and that was a shotgun, 12-ball short, a short cut. I think it was a short barrel shotgun. He shot them with something they had downstairs or something. And we get this, and then someone tells us the story exactly the same 2 years later, with validation that it actually happened. That's
you know.
And the weird thing was they actually show us the weapon as well that was used, and that really gave me goosebumps.
That's freaky. That is freaky.
And this happened in 1940, around about 1942, something like that, I think. That's strange, isn't it?
Very, very strange. I mean, and research, I think research is also good for, you know, it's getting the facts out to people, the truth, but it's good for what streaming software are you using for the call? That's cool. We use StreamYard, Ghost on Trent. Yes. Research is also good for debunking as well.
Yes, yes.
I think it's really important that even though we're trying to prove the existence of, you know, life after death, the paranormal, etc., it's also good to let people see that you look at both sides of the coin. You know, we've got a story coming up. I'm not saying you know what it is, but we're doing it in 3 parts, and we're going to debunk. It's a story that's based in Glasgow. It's been there for many years, and there's been so many different people told their own version of this story, and they've done these idiotic investigations and all the rest of it, and claim to have seen something, etc. And maybe it's because I'm a Glaswegian, but it really annoys me. So I've decided, you know, even though we are in the business of proving the paranormal, we're also in the business, you know, this is one story I want to debunk and just, you know, get with it and just get it the hell out of the way, because it's got to the ridiculous stage now that somebody says actually found the grave of this thing, you know, and it's never existed. never ever existed. So we're doing that.
Old folklore.
Our girls
I think
accept.
I think that's in trouble, Scott. The thing is with most people, we love a good ghost story, and or a good story in that sense. You know, I did the legends, you know, and things like that. And I think tales are told, and they change. Like, you know, Chinese whispers. You know, everything get changed the time it reaches you. If you can really find out the truth on something, so it might be, like I say, it might not be paranormal, but you might even correct history in its time, come across something. Because we've done that.
You never
found out.
This story has been going about for years, and you see, we all love a good ghost story, but sometimes you just get to the ridiculous, you know, and you think, see, and you're watching stuff, you think, seriously, are people taking this in? Are people believing this? Because it's just so out there. Do you know what I mean? Do what you do.
Yeah, I think some of the, as well as the locations, and they say certain locations are haunted, and you know, and you find out that they ain't haunted, not at all. You know, not haunted at all. They're just cashing in on the location for some. It was haunted probably years ago, but it's not anymore, and they're still cashing in and cashing in and cashing in. And you think, there's nothing there. What are you on about? There's nothing.
Exactly. You know, Mike say, why do you do what you do? Well, we do. I do it, Mike, in the team because, you know, I've been into paranormal for decades, and you know, I've always been into ghosts and spirits and all that kind of stuff, and that's basically why I do it, because I love doing it. And if we can prove a point, or not prove a point, but we can get that one bit of evidence that shows that there is, without doubt, that there is something after here, then, you know, we feel we've done a job. Actually, we do, because we love it, and it's a hobby. Mind you, it can sometimes turn into a kind of full-time job, do you know what I mean? But it's still enjoyable, you know what I mean? So why do you do it, Tim?
Oh, I've said, I mean, I enjoy doing it. I mean, it's just like, say, showing the evidence, really. But I've said, I put it out there, didn't I? On a live once, I said, whoever wants to test what we do and say want to validate what we do, to say, we're capturing some of this amazing evidence, and we'll validate it. Whatever you want, what you want us to do, we'll do it. And I've put it through to a few people and these universities, whoever wants to bring it on to that we can do what we do. I'm up for the challenge, because I know that there's rewards for doing it. I mean, I don't want £1 million reward. There's a reward if you can prove the paranormal or something. I can't remember what it was called. Andrew was telling me. I don't think it exists anymore. Yeah, it's not
again. What's it called? The Haunted Hunts came second in them a few months back. Iggy Pop Awards. I'll find out for you. I know the one you're talking, because the Haunted Hunts UK came second.
Oh no, I'm talking about these scientific.
To
really show the world. This is the world, not Iggy Pop. We're talking about the world here. To say who do you to prove it once and for all. You know, we can. I think we're to a point we were until lockdown. We can prove this paranormal activity happens, like the knocks. Even the knocks, we can prove we can communicate. We can't prove who we're communicating with. They might say who they are, but are they lying? You know, we've always said that you can't, because they're not there. We can't. You know, we're not seeing them, are we? You know, so they're going to come apparition and come into us, our camera, and go, "Oh yeah, woo, I'm here." That'd be amazing. But there's definitely something there, and I think if we can get someone really, I mean, this is the thing, who do you go to? You can't go to Ghostbusters. They're not doing but who do you go to? I mean, I've asked many people, and they're not blank. Scientists, whatever, you know, whoever, where is, you know, how can I explain it? Say you got a, you know, you got a book, you go to the library. If you got something else, you want a Chinese, you go to the Chinese. But paranormal evidence, who do you go to? Who's really going to validate your evidence and say, yes, this is genuine paranormal activity here. They are communicating with you know, with the dead, and it's genuine. How? Who?
Well, nobody can. Hard to show
Who could take?
I mean, also we you know the results that we've had. We had one big result. Well, Sarah and I done it in here, and it's on our YouTube channel, and it was done with the laser grid, and it's against the wall behind me here, and it clearly shows a figure running by. It's like that. So we slowed it right down, and you can see it's like this figure running by. And we've done it on a live. It was a live we were doing at the time. I think I told you this, Tim. And so the webcam that showed there was nobody else in the room. And Sarah and I were both sitting at the PC on the other side of the room. We've still got that on our YouTube channel. And, you know, like Danny Moss and Charlotte and that said, I look at it, they can't disprove it. They can't explain it. We can't explain it. But we've never went anywhere with it. You know, it sits on our YouTube channel. And as you say, you know, if somebody says, well, you should show that to somebody. Say, but who will we show it to?
Who? Yeah. Who's going to? I mean, people ask us to say, "Can you this picture? What do you think?" We'll look at it, but you know, the years ago they used to have some sort of like, you know, the Ghost Club, for instance, was like the well-known place to go to. You know, Paranormal Research UK or something like that. Well, I can't remember what they're called. There was all different ones, but then who's the head poncho in the paranormal? Who do you go to say, look? And then even if you go to them, how are they going to prove to everybody else that this is genuine stuff? You know, there isn't anyone. You can't go to Boris, our Prime Minister. Look at this, Boris. This you got to get this on the government website. This is genuine. Can you put it on?
If you've got a wee minute, you know, going to have a wee look better. See, we've got footage. We showed it to Danny Moss, Charlotte Underwood. We even showed it to Patty, who, you know, backs your channel as well. I showed it to Patty, and she's like, I can't explain that. You know, that's Danny Moss.
But that's what I'm saying. It doesn't go no further than that. I say, whatever, some Patty, different people on TV, so, but there's no governing body for it anymore. There used to be. It's been well known, like the Ghost Club and so and so. I mean, Andrew was one of the ones started SPI or whatever it was called. So they had a lot of stuff go through to them. But he said there's nothing anymore. You know, who can monitor the monitor? You know, exactly. This is the problem. And even if you go through television and say, look, I'll show you this live on television. Let's do it live on television. We've got blah blah. People go, well, that's on telly, isn't it? Yeah, that's CG on that. I definitely the dinosaur come through in a minute. You know, this is the big thing. I'd love to be able to say, let's get a big audience. You know, let's get 100,000 in Wembley, and then we'll do this stuff and see if we can hear it. It would never happen because you like if you get two people in a room, it destroy your evidence because they could move around or tap their foot or scratch their arm.
Yes, I do know. I really enjoy it. I enjoy going out investigating. I enjoy researching, and I love learning about history. You know, all different kind of things. But no, if we get a wee result, you know, on an investigation, you get a wee buzz. You know, it's a wee excitement, and then you know you've recorded it, so you keep it, and that's it. Because you get a wee moment of being proud. You know, well, I went out and I caught that on a camera. You know, I'm only showing the world because nobody's interested, but you know, it makes what we do kind of work.
Yeah, personal thing to you. Yeah.
it gives you that wee bit.
It's big.
You know.
Whoa. Yeah. That's what Margaret just says on there, you know. There's the thing, you probably do a big thing like that, Margaret. And like you say, the spirit will go, nah, I'm not. They done it to me on a radio show. I was talking about things and my mic didn't work. And then the spare one didn't work. And then the Facebook Live didn't work. And then the radio presenter was going, what the hell? Lights flickering in the studio. And she's going, and no one heard me throughout my radio show chat. Nothing. My mic, they're all trashed, gone, boom, nothing. So no one ever heard me. And I thought, yeah, they didn't want me to talk, did they, little buggers? You know, and that's, you have to take it on the chin, you know.
We had the same problem with Greyfriars. We planned an investigation. This was before pre-lockdown kind of thing. In between our lockdowns last year, and we planned a 3 AM investigation at Greyfriars. This was before we found out that they're no longer, you know, the investigations aren't permitted in Greyfriars anymore. But however, the council stopped them, banned. No. So if you see anybody investigating in Greyfriars, they're breaking the law.
Yeah,
you're not
right, okay.
allowed it, you know, and take photographs, but you're not allowed any investigations. That's how we were quite lucky, quite fortunate to get into the Covenanters prison. But we planned this investigation. We'll go at 3 in the morning. We had everything charged, you know, we're all set, and we got to Edinburgh early, so we done a wee tour of the mile, you know, the different spots. Done a tiny wee bit of film. In Greyfriars, started the investigation. Our batteries should last for about 90 minutes each. Each battery lasted at the most 15 minutes, each battery. So by about 3:30, we'd nothing left. We'd no power, you know, battery, nothing left. We just totally went. I tried using my phone and the battery drained on my phone as well, just like that. And so we were out of there by about 3:30. Time to go home. We can't do anything. It's, you know, it's the same. It's the same thing but different. You know, we were all charged up, and it just went gone.
They don't want there was a thing that I can't remember what it was, some interview thing. They bought the cameras and they had the backup batteries, and all the batteries drained within 5 minutes, and they normally last about 8 hours. And the bloke who was the cameraman was like, "What is going on here? I'm not having this." So he gets another battery, boom, drained. No, get another battery, boom, drained. And he just managed to get a little bit of footage, I think, and then left. Disarray. I think it's a YouTuber, I think.
These things happen. I mean, there's last year I went myself and I went to Drossing Castle and I filmed some footage there. Then I went to Kilwinning Abbey, filmed there, and then I went to a place called Eglinton Park and I filmed there. When I go home, Drossing Castle and Eglinton Park worked out, but Kilwinning Abbey never. There was nothing.
Oh, right, okay.
I went back to the same location at night time. I don't know, sometime later, went back and filmed again, and it never worked again.
Yeah, we've had that. We've had it.
Sarah and I were there about 2 weeks ago and we were filming. It worked out, but the footage was absolutely rubbish because there just seemed to be a lot of light on the footage.
Right.
So that's 3 times in this one location that
don't want you there. Don't want you filming. Yeah, I know. That's what we were saying earlier. When we do certain places, don't take it. We don't use nothing the best we can. Obviously, we end up doing something, but we find more activity when we got nothing. Especially when sometimes we do charity event things, and we didn't have no camera. I think we had no camera rolling. We just nothing really. And then on the event, that was super active. That was like crazy. We were hearing voices. We all witnessed someone speaking, baby crying, and all this sort of thing. And I knew since we went there when we'd done a private one, the cameras didn't catch as much. So I would have thought a few bits and pieces, but not as much as I would have thought. So I knew as soon as we're not taking the cameras because they don't want us to. They don't want them there. That's the end of that. So that we'll make sure it doesn't happen if we can, because it's for experience. When we do events, we prefer the experience. It's light, not spirit. It's light, not spirit. They say that, don't they? It's light, spirit. Yeah, they say that. A light is energy, light, spirit. Which order you like, it's up to you.
Who was blocking you? Well, I don't know, Margaret. We've researched the history of the Abbey, and there's nothing negative about the place. Nothing's bad's happened on that site. We couldn't find any reason why there'd be anything negative or something blockers. It was just very, and again, I'm not saying it's paranormal, but it's just really, really strange that the same location 3 times film hasn't. I mean, yeah, we can't explain it. I think we need to try and explain it to get to the truth. Because I think truth is part of the paranormal. That's what annoys me, as you were saying earlier, Tim, about some of these channels that they'll go out and they've got the phone in their face and
yeah, I know. Jim, that's just ridiculous. You're not going to capture anything. I mean, you can do a little close-up chat. That's fine, maybe you want. But really, I think personally, I want to see what's going on. I want to see you ask a question. I want to find out who's there, and I'm more interested about you and your washing. I'm more interested about what's going on.
Let's see what's happening. Basically, nobody wants to turn on I was going to say the TV. The TV, whatever, and see some guy's face saying, "I'm in a cemetery and I can hear a noise."
Yeah. Oh, and then you get the ones that do. They ask a question, just get ignored. They say, "Well, why didn't you do something? Could that be something?" And they still ignore you, and you think, like, this is people have told me this, and I said, "Well, why'd you watch them if they're ignoring?" They should involve the people, the audience. It's then become entertainment, so you need the audience involved in it in a way, because I'd be peeved if people ignore me, and I think everyone else is fed up with you. Why do you just go for? You can't do everything that people ask you, but these, you can. These answers, some people just ignore them completely. Even why people would watch certain teams if they get ignored, that'd be annoying.
I'm about.
I've got another thing you could try, which if there's something wanting to. This is the problem you got, right? This is an interesting one. Like you said about energy drain with your cameras and whatever, but they were saying. I mean, someone was saying they use it's a protective pattern, right? It's it stops EMF field going through to your camera, so you wrap it around. They used to use that for stop interference and stuff like that on your mobile phone, for instance. So they wrap it around there. But if you do that, you think, well, that'll stop them draining my energy. But the thing is, majority of spirits want that energy. You know, they need the energy. So if they want to get battery drain, like you say, so why would you want to shield them from the energy if they need it to come forward?
You want to help as much as what you possibly can to come forward. Otherwise, it's a waste. It's a waste of time.
They said these EMF protective shields you can buy. So I thought, well, if you're using them, how are you going to get them to come forward if they're not draining your energy? You want them to drain your energy.
I actually thought watching what bit of equipment they think you should use. It's all about interacting. As you said, Tim, Carol's right there as well. I've watched a few channels, and you'll get the people on panel and they just yak, and you can see the comments all running up the side. and they don't acknowledge anybody, they don't answer any questions. But if you're doing a live, you know, like this one, for instance, my point of view is, you know, people in the chat, they're taking the time to, you know, maybe it's an hour, maybe it's 2 hours, they're taking that time out of their night to sit down and watch you, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just, I mean, it's common decency to start
It's
off
common.
with.
It's so annoying. I mean, you know, I think, you know, it's respectful for people, you know, they, like you say, they come at a time to join the chat, at least answer the blooming questions, or, you know, if they're watching a live ghost hunt, whatever, at least answer the questions. That's just people have been complaining, mentioned it a few times to me. Someone mentioned it today that said that, what's the point? They're getting ignored, and I said, well, why'd you bother watching? They're ignoring. I'm going to mention who they are, but I don't care. You know, I'm bothered. But I just, why you watch something? They're going to ignore you every time.
I mean, plus at the end of the day, if you don't have an audience, then you're sitting talking to yourself, and it's you need to like, you know, make your audience, as we call it, you know, feel that they're part of the life, because this is what it's all about. It's all about community. It's all about getting together with people, you know, reading their comments. Sometimes, you know yourself, you don't get around to reading everybody's question. Sometimes it's just impossible, you know.
Yes,
but
yes, true. Yeah.
You know,
I mean, this is nothing. What we've said in the past as well is like, what is paranormal investigation to then the thin line between paranormal investigation and entertainment. This is a very narrow, you know, a narrow line there, because if you go too far, you'll be into the entertainment bin, and then where you're going to get respect for being genuine stuff to, again, over to the other side where you're being an investigator. You'll be very careful, a tight line between entertaining people and being an investigator, if you know. And I've said this many times. If you know what I mean, you can be very careful.
There's Mr. Cat says you can ask response from someone on panel to their questions or opinions. That's true, Mr. Cat. I've watched some channels, and some of the people on the panel are very rude, for want of a better word, to keep it polite. They're very rude, and they don't like us, you know. They don't like certain opinions and that, but to us, everybody's got an opinion. We don't always agree 100% of the time, but I'll sit and listen to everybody's opinion. But as you say, Tim, where does it, you know, where's the line between entertainment and what have you? When we do lives, you know, outside, you get these, how can you put it? You get these channels who'll go out and they'll try and make it all razzy-dazzy and all the rest of it, you know. And
fake.
Like that.
Fake. Yeah.
When we go and do our lives, we're just, I like to think that we're just like, we act natural on camera. We're there to do an investigation. You still have a wee laugh and a joke, tell people it's freezing or it's warm, or you know, just be natural yourself.
Yeah, I think, you know, I know people said to do lives, and we love doing them. I don't mind doing them. You know, I've got nothing against them. I just saying you got to be careful with, you know, where people become entertainment, and you know certain teams are entertainment only for views. This is the trouble. And then you're talking about do paranormal about for money. This is another thing. You know, there's so many different questions. I still got questions to ask. What would you do paranormal for cash? I've had a BBC producer ask me about this question. True. And he asked me, he said, would you would you be a paranormal investigator for money, blah blah blah? And I said, oh, because I said that I'm not sure whether you should be making money on the paranormal. You know, is that a respectful thing to do? You know, you cashed on something that you're supposed to be helping people who had passed. and helping people who need help from people who are past, if you know what I mean. And he was like, yeah, but would you do it for money? Would you, as a living? And I'm like, no, you got me there. It's a difficult. how greedy are you? And that's a true question. I'll tell you. I can tell you now. I weren't supposed to be, but I think I'm all right to tell you now. But that was supposed to be a TV show. And they said to me, that about doing things that you wouldn't normally do, i.e., being a paranormal investigator for as a job. I hope I don't get sued for this because I'll be told to keep a secret. But that was a long while ago now. Nothing ever happened from it as usual. But it's the thing, isn't it? Where do you draw the line? Where?
That is, it's a big question. I mean, it annoys me as when people say, I've got so many subs, sub to your channel. It really, to me, the paranormal, it's not about numbers. Your channel's not about numbers. It'd be nice to see there be, it'd be nice to see there be sub count going up, but some people just go over the top with it. I mean, I like the numbers going up for the simple reason it gives us an indication that, what we're doing is right, that people are enjoying watching what we're doing, and we're going in the right direction. But you do get these other channels that, they'll say sub is, oh, I'm up to.
Oh, God, yeah.
Subs, help me reach 600. It's not about that.
Payment, pay by PayPal, blah, 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 and,
I cannot stand that. I mean,
message me for £5, blah, blah. I'll do your reading for 50 quid for 1 minute. Yeah.
No,
I
hate all that stuff.
These people need to be registered? This is the thing. Should they be registered through something? Because there's a. I'm not saying they all do. There's so many genuine investigators. There's so many genuine mediums. Not to be on a negative. There's some brilliant people out there. But where do you draw the line where these people ripping people off? They are. I've been told people have said that I got ripped off 50 quid. I got ripped off £100. Or I messaged someone because I was desperate. These are people. Some of these people have lost a loved one, and they're desperate. They're going through, loss, and they go to 0900 numbers. Oh, hang on, Mystic Mary, whatever, because I better not say someone's name by accident. And then Darling, and it's cost them fortune, and really they're just feeding them a load of rubbish. I mean, where do you draw the line? And they're still, I know certain people are still fiddling people big time, and the police have been involved. They've been taken to court, but it don't go nowhere. Because apparently, and there might be a little bit of writing underneath the bottom that says for entertainment purposes. And as long as I got that written down the bottom there, there's not a sod all you can do about it. You might get your money back if you're lucky, as if you. And I think that should be more looked into this big time, and stop these people ripping people off, and let the genuine people, it's. But then can you say, hey, can you, a medium, what's genuine? How do you know what's genuine, How do you prove you're genuine?
I mean, I could stand up tomorrow and say, I'm a medium,
Yeah.
It's just no, right. Another thing that really gets me...
I'm an extra large. Sorry, go on.
No, another thing that really gets me, as I said a few minutes ago, people that are obsessed with their sub count, I mean, don't get me wrong, we've only been going 10 months and we're up to 311 subs, which I think it's great, and I thank everybody tonight who's subbed to us.
Yes.
To reach that in 10 months. But as I say, that gives us an indication that we are going in the right direction, that we are doing things that people like. There's these channels that they'll buy subs.
Oh God, yes. Oh yeah, there's a lot of boosting and boost this, boost that. Oh God, 10,000 people watching you. you're bloody live, and no, they ain't. It's Facebook boosts. They make sure. Yeah, there's so much of that going on. So they're faking their views, they're faking their followers. People follow you for so long. I mean, we got 16,000 followers on our page. I think there's probably about 100 people who still follow us. Not where's the 15,900 gone? We don't pay for boosts, but because they're what you call a bit part. Excuse the pun. They're called goose followers. They follow you, and then they forget all about you, or they don't go on Facebook on it, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, and you know that with your views, you know, you got, say you got 10 million followers, and you get like, you know, something like 100,000 views. Well, that don't, you know, that won't work out, would it? And that's it's fake. It's just rubbish.
That's what I was going to say. You know, you get these channels with 1,000 subs, but they only get, like, say, 93 views. And you think, well, where's the other 900 plus people? Where are these people? You know, it's something when you get channels that say, you know, sub me. It's something I've been strict, and anybody in our team will tell you, I've been strict from day one about it. Is one, we will never ask people to sub us, because I want to be able to turn around at the end of the day and say, look, the sub count we've got is people. I want people to sub us because they enjoy what we do, not because we've asked them. You know.
I know. I think people get desperate. I think people get desperate. I don't know what they want. I don't understand what they want. I mean, there's probably a logic reason for them, and I don't want to criticise people, so I'm not at all. And they've probably got their way of doing things, but I just don't understand it. You know, I don't get it. You get money off subs, and then you boost, and then you go. I mean, you boost out. So your subs are paying for your boosts, and then, you know, it didn't make sense to me. And then it gives a fake readings of who's watching. You know, you can get. I could go on there tomorrow and say, well, sub me, and we get a load of people paying us, I don't know, £500 a month, whatever. And I'll put that all on boosts. My followers is going to go. We'll probably have 50,000 within about 3 weeks. 50,000 followers if I wanted to. Boom. You used to be able to buy them at one point as well. You know, but I didn't get it. I didn't know. You know, they want to make a living as a job. Is that, you know, is that a job thing? I don't know.
But that's it. But what a lot of channels, and I'm not going to name the thing, but you know, you might know what it is. What a lot of these channels either forget or don't realise that there is a way out there to actually check who's bought views, who's no.
Is there a way of checking?
No, there is a way.
There is a way, is there?
Aye, there is a way. I'll tell you, if you don't know, I'll tell you after the live. I'm going to say on the live.
Okay, yeah. I've heard about it, yeah. I didn't look too much into it with that, but yeah. Yeah.
You can easily go on and check. I mean, I know one channel, I'm not going to name it, but I was just curious one night, and I was on this thing, and there's a thing on it, it's called a live count, and it's like a heart machine, and it goes by the second. And there was one night I was on it, and this particular channel, I would say it was like 12:30 and 21 seconds. At 12:20 and 22 seconds, they had an extra 40 subs. The sub count dropped 1 second by. So you can tell away they've been bought. They're generated by computer, because there's nobody on this planet that's going to convince me that in the 1 second 40 individual people decided to sub this channel in that 1 second.
I know there was a thing you could buy them at one point. I don't know. I don't look too far into it, but I don't get it. What my thing is, I don't understand I don't get it. You know.
There's no. I've never seen the point. I mean, when we were at 199 subs, can't mind, whenever it was, we were at 199. And for some reason, I was wanting to go to 200 because 199 was an odd number. And it was just annoying me, just this one sub. And I was saying, I was kidding on, I was joking with people. How do you buy a sub? I want to buy one sub. Sell me a sub. Maybe they'll sell me one. But, it was just a wee nightly thing. It was 199 and, I just go to 200 and get rid of the, I hate odd numbers. It's a thing. And so, and then I thought, well, how do you actually go about buying subs? I wouldn't know the first time about buying them or buying views. I don't see the point of buying views because you're lying to the people who are actually taking the time to watch it.
It's thing that I've seen. This is the trouble. Like Cal said, you can do adverts now. I mean, you can have adverts on your thing, on your lives now. You can do all sorts of stuff to try and earn money out of it. But I think I suppose blogging. I suppose that's part of blogging now, isn't it? It's part of the blogging society. YouTube. Look at YouTube. I mean, especially the gaming side of it. I mean, maybe not the paranormal side of it to a point, but the gaming side of it. Like Xbox and PlayStation streamers and stuff like that. Crazy at the moment. There's thousands of youngsters doing them now, and some of them making fortunes. And I think because the money's there from YouTube and probably from Facebook, that's probably why. It's just like, as a kid, you imagine gaming. If you're ever gaming as a kid, you can make a fortune doing it. Dream. Yeah. And I think that's then switched over to the paranormal side when people decided, I could clean up here and make a few quid if I get, this is something different, blah, blah, blah. And I think it's how it's gone. Yeah. I think, I know some TV channels have gone over to YouTube now to try and to make a fortune. But I can't see how. I've got a clue. I
don't know.
You'd have to get millions of followers. You'd have to have millions of followers.
I think I mentioned to you earlier on, we were chatting earlier on the day about Paraflix. We're going for Paraflix.
Oh yes, that new pay-per-view thing. Yeah,
we're trying for that. Patty, Patty Negri, she's the CEO, and I was talking to her, and she's with that. Put something forward. Definitely put something forward for it. So we're doing that. I know you can make money out of it, but I think it's what a $5 for every 1,000 views or something like that.
Yeah,
it's really.
I think so. Yeah.
But the thing that really gets me is these channels have been so obsessed with subs, with views, with money, that they're leaving behind why they're there in the first place. They're leaving behind the real paranormal. Yeah.
See, this is the trouble. If you do a show, right? Say, if you do a TV show, this is trouble. Do you do a TV show, or do you do like a documentary of what you do? This is what I said to a few TV companies, producers and so forth. Is where do you draw the line with it? Because if you go into entertainment side of it, then are people going to believe what you see? I'm not going to mention what TV shows has done some ridiculous things in the past, which, well, luckily not on TV at the moment at that rate. But then if you do a documentary and just follow you around as you are, maybe that'd work better, and they still don't give me their answer what would be better. But this is the thing, I want to show the evidence to around the world, which it'd be brilliant, it'd be superb, because I can say this is everything, this is genuine, this has been captured by us, we know it's genuine, to our personal belief that it's genuine, best we can, possibly human, and to share what we've witnessed. And if a TV company said, yeah, come on, Yeah, us do it. See if we can do it on TV for you. I wouldn't say no. Then again, you're going to then say, well, hang on. Well, you're getting paid for doing that. Are you going to get paid for that? Blah, blah, blah. And then, so, you know, then you'd be thinking, oh, are we entertainment now then? We're getting paid.
I get exactly what you mean. We're doing,
So it's
I don't know
difficult.
we're doing a Gordon Pendle. We're doing it as lives, you know, about the people who were behind the scenes in Pendle. Everybody always focuses on the arrest, the trial, and the execution, but a lot of people tend to know very much about the amount of people who Pendle actually affected behind the trials, etc. And we're doing something with Edinburgh called The Darkest Mile. And what we're doing is it's featuring not all the big locations that everybody does. It's just sheer about history. It's all the wee locations in Edinburgh's Royal Mile that you walk past every day and you don't even notice them. You don't realise there's history. So what we decided to do was turn it into a kind of documentary series. We've got Jamie Kistorfin, who runs City of the Dead Tours. He's appearing in it. He's basically on our team now. So we're turning that into a kind of documentary series, but we're not doing it because we wanted to be the entertainment side of it. We're doing it because we felt that was a better way to do
it. Yeah.
You know,
I know. This is the thing, you know. But I agree with you. You know, that's the same thing here. You know, you want to document everything you do, and you want to find out the truth, and that's what you know. But then you got this is the thing. So I said to you, right, yeah, Scott, we'll do a TV. I'll get a producer to come do a TV show for you. Right, we'll give you $30,000 a year for your time. We'll get your team together. We'll do a show. Blah blah blah. And you go, yeah, I'll probably say yeah. All right then, yeah, go on. We'll make it 32,000. Yeah, all right. Or 50. And you do it, and then you're showing evidence, and then you start getting popular and famous, maybe, and a bit of like, oh, I know Scott, blah blah blah. But then where do you draw the line when you're getting paid? That then you show some evidence, and then the people might be saying, is that genuine evidence? Or oh, they got a few views, you know, on TV. Are they, you know, they're making a few quid out of this? Same as YouTube, same as blah blah blah. And you may think, yeah, are they genuine or not? This is the problem. You got to think and decide, you know, as a pound risk, where do you draw the line? If you go and Zach from, you know, Goose Adventures, I mean, he's probably had the same thought, you know, he's successful. He's probably the most popular paranormal investigator or ghost hunter on TV. He's gone longer than anyone, isn't he, for TV?
Yeah.
Even more than Most Haunted, I believe, now, probably, because I think they didn't do TV at the moment, did they?
I don't think there'll be much difference between the two of them.
No,
time-wise.
Yeah, and I think, you know, he's the leading thing people watch. You know, he's like the most famous probably out of everything I can think of, TV-wise. I'm talking about. But then again, where do you say, well, is that entertainment what you're showing me here, or is it actual genuine evidence? Because just think, if you go and don't show no evidence to a certain point, or nothing on your program tonight, you know, am I going to watch again? I might not, because it's boring. There's nothing happened. You know, I want things being thrown at you, blah blah blah. You know, maybe. And it's not just him as a producer as well. You know, there's other people involved in that. So, I mean, what I saw the show the other night, it wasn't too bad, because what I shown, the evidence they were showing, there was nothing. There weren't chairs being thrown around or nothing like that. It weren't, you know, dramatic as in items being thrown around the room or, you know, pushed over. Or so I think, well, that's fair enough, isn't it? You know, it's just bits, a few EVPs that captured too. You know, you got to draw the line. I think even, you know, you've got to draw the line between entertainment and then paranormal.
Yeah, that's why
you've got to be very careful.
I mean, we follow the Haunted Hunts, and they follow us. And Danny Moss hopefully he's meeting us, and we're going to find out the week before we go to Pendle. And you know, we've had Danny on, we've had the team on as well, and that's what attracted me to their programme, because I watched you know, one of the episodes, and it was in I can't remember, Drake Mearwoods, I think it's called. But anyway, you know, they done the episode and they got nothing. You know,
right,
they got noises, and turn and says that's probably wildlife. And they said at the end of the episode, look, you know, we've got nothing. They put their hands up and we're totally honest. Whereas other shows would probably, you know, make up something.
Yeah,
but they didn't say we don't have anything. And that's what got me. They were honest enough to take the chance of risking losing maybe some of their viewers, their audience, whatever. But they says we don't have anything. We're going home.
It's getting this is the problem. I mean, what I call the elders of the paranormal, certain people I know, and they've been doing it for years and years, forever. I mean, they live, die by the paranormal, and it's got stupid, Scott, with the, you know, some of the YouTubers, some of the Facebookers out there. It's just gone stupid, you know, with the oh my God, you know, and things like that. And I've said, if you know me, that I was like, this is pathetic. And the thing is, what annoys me is the true investigators, you know, it just makes a mockery of it. It makes the mockery of the paranormal completely. It's just like, you know, it's just taking the piss out of it, basically, as far as I'm concerned.
You're totally right.
Freaking annoying, you know. It really annoys me.
I've watched some YouTube channels, and the minute they go into a location, they'll get something right away. And you know yourself, that very rarely happens. I mean, we've been lucky. It's not the first minute, but maybe within the first 15, 20 minutes, we'll maybe had a cat ball go off, you know, or, you know, we've been up to a yellow light or something, you know, something like that. But there is certain channels out there, and I'm not naming them, but every single investigation they do, the minute they start, they get something. And you think, that doesn't happen. That does not happen.
There was a video. I'm going to say which one it was. Obviously, ain't going to slander people. There was a video out, and it went on to a TV company, and I know it's fake. It's ridiculously fake. It's beyond belief fake. And it went out on a TV show thing, and I tell you, they got my email. What I thought, I said, you should be to the producer. I did speak. I sort of emailed the producer, and I just turned around and said, what a load of crap. I said, you should be ashamed of yourself to be a producer of a show with that such crap that I've ever seen in my life. It's make paranormal a mockery. It might be entertainment for you, but it's appalling, because that was really bad. Some of the stuff was proven fake, without saying the name. It was proven fake before they even went on the. This is some stuff they were putting on the show bloody 6 years ago. What happened, and that was proved fake 6 years ago. And I thought, what a load of. I was fuming. I never got a reply.
I'm the same, buddy. Some of the stuff you watch, I watched one particular one on YouTube, and it was supposed to be a ghost on camera, and within a week they changed it. At first it was a spirit, then it was an orb, then it was a fairy, and then it went back to being a spirit. That was like 3-4 times within the 1 week. They changed the description of what was in the video.
Oh, right, okay.
You know, is it what you calling it today? That's the stage. Go to that stage. Well, is it a fairy today? Or are you back to an orb? Or is it going to be a ghost? And you think, you know, if you think you've caught something on camera, then the best way to do it is, you know, I'm quite strict with this as well. This is what we caught on camera. What do you think? Yes, you know, yes, your viewers or anybody who looks at your page. What do you think? This is what we got. We don't know what it is. You know.
Yeah. Well, if you don't know yourself, then you're obviously going to say what it is because you don't know. So you just put, I don't know. We don't know what it is, but what do you think? You know? I think it depends. People ask me about orbs and stuff like that, and I think, well, it is what it is, isn't it? I mean, only you would know what you're seeing or what you. I mean, it's difficult because you're not the source. You know, it's not like you're taking the picture and you're going, I'll take 5 pictures. Oh, look, the middle one, there's a figure standing there. Perfect. Well, you know, you've proved that it probably could be paranormal because why would the one in the middle actually capture a figure? There's no one there. It's the same picture. And it is difficult to prove. There's some pictures are unbelievably amazing. I've lucky to witness, and I would say definitely paranormal because you just can't explain some of the pictures I've seen. Some I would just say it could be bloody anything.
Yeah, I could. That's a great question. Thanks, Margaret Carroll. But as you've got to, I mean, there's so many. It really does. You know, I'm kind of laid back and charming. Not charming, but I'm kind of laid back. You know what I mean?
He's a lord now, and then Prince Charming. They all in one.
Well, laid back, I said in chat, but I'm kind of late, and it takes a lot to get me, you know, angry and started. But it's when I see these pages or channels and they say this is a ghost. I've caught a ghost. You know, I think well, you don't know that you've caught something.
Yeah.
But you can't say that's a ghost. You know.
I think the thing is, you know, people get caught in that trap, you know, where, you know, it's the terms of YouTube, you know, it's the terms of certain Facebook users. It's a term they use. A lot of them, obviously, there's nothing there, so they use that term. They're called, you know, word catchers, aren't they? Or, you know, a view catcher. You're gonna have the right picture, the right. Oh my God, you know, and that all stuff. That's something that's gone way too far with it. You know, you can say a place is haunted. That's possible if you believe it's haunted. We've done that. We've said it's a haunted place because we captured the evidence to say it's haunted. And we would say it's haunted. If it's not haunted, we wouldn't say it's haunted. We didn't know. But you can get caught, and this is the thing, you've got to be careful because you can get caught in that trap by saying something like, oh, there's a demon in this place, and then you'll be putting on your video or whatever. Oh, there's a demon captured here and slapped you around the face a couple of times, you know. And don't forget the OMG, always have an OMG. This is how that's going with YouTube and Facebook at the moment. I think they've lost the plot with it all. You know, they just get views, get followers, make money, and stuff. What really is what's real, you know.
Well, exactly.
They might have people started off genuinely being interested in paranormal, and then as it get, you know, popular, and then you go to a point where it's just entertainment, you know. It's a worrying thing.
You know, they forget what they originally started out doing, and they just get caught up, and it's just like a snowball effect. They just keep going and going.
Like a drug.
Yeah. And they can't help it. Whereas to me,
more money, more attention, more
views, more subs, more this, more that. And at the end of the day, that's not what it's about. You know, it's not about money. It's not about subs, views. It's not about everybody turning and say, oh, yous are fantastic, what have you got? It's about going out and doing something that you enjoy, hoping to get that capture that might prove beyond a doubt that there is life after death, even though, you know, we do believe in it. And just basically being honest with people and doing what you enjoy, basically. That's what it's about. Being honest with people, learning as well, sharing what you know with, you know, other teams, other people, helping other people, you know, where it's another team or a private individual, whatever, where you can. If you can, and doing it in an honest way and no trying to con, you know.
Be genuine, be honest, and be like sincere in what you're doing, and try and, you know, capture hopefully some amazing evidence that you've debunked, or if you can't debunk it, get other people to debunk it if they think there's something else. They go, well, probably, you know, something else. Sometimes people send me pictures and I get them to debunk it themselves. I've had that before. Yeah. I say, well, what about, why didn't you check this, blah, 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 blah. And then they checked it and went, oh, well, I done that, and I checked it the other way. And I said, yeah, do that. Do whatever you think to double check it. You know, it didn't mean, I didn't want to show fake. It just, you know, misinterpret what the picture's supposed to be, you know, and they debunked it themselves.
Margaret asks a good question. Do you find living as your worst enemy? Excuse me. I would say yes, because the spirit can't stab you in the back, basically, or con you. So I would say I agree with Margaret. I would find living as it can be bloody nasty people out there, Margaret, definitely. Oh. They'll stab you in the back for 10 views, kind of thing. But I mean, debunking, you've got to try and debunk it for two reasons, so that you can give yourself an answer.
That's important, yeah.
No, and you know,
do it for yourself. Debunk it for yourself. Debunk it for yourself, and then you can. Then when you do show it, at least 100% on heart, you can go, "This is genuine. This is genuine stuff." If not, then what's the point? I don't get it. You know, I don't understand why you want fake stuff to what? To be famous or make money? Yeah. Oh, sorry, past my bedtime. But yeah, you know,
anyway. But no, debunk, and it also lets the people who follow you or watch you. It also lets them see that you are one to debunk. You're not going to jump on the demon or the ghost right away. That you are you want to debunk your own stuff so that you can give them
exactly. Yes. Yeah. Someone said to me, hey, something we done, and they said, oh, it's fake. That's you that is speaking. I went, well, I don't even sound nothing like me. And they go, well, oh. And then they said something else, and I said, put it this way. I said, why would I want to fake it for what? I said, and they said, was to make money. I said, well, that's unlucky there, because we're non-profit. We don't make any money. We never do. So, you know, to what we got to gain out of it? Well, you'll get followers. I said, well, we got a couple of 26,000 followers on Instagram. 26,000 followers on Instagram. Wow. But we still don't make the money on it, because we don't make it. They don't pay us.
I mean, we've got we're able to text 100 mark, and you don't get any money out of it. So,
no, they don't pay us. So I turned around and said, so that what's my game then? And they go, oh, so you are genuine then? I went, yeah. So at least I had that as a backup to say that if we were making money out of it, that'd be this is the thing what I was saying about, you know, where you go with it. Because if you start making money, then people go, well, you're making money out of it, so obviously you're going to show some crap on there. Probably could be genuine.
You know, and then you get that wee bit of fame, and you know, you start thinking, oh my goodness, now. But just before we wrap up, just talk about fame. A wee quick 2-minute story happened to me a couple of days ago. After I picked the kids up from school, I always go to this news agents just up the hill from us. It's just a wee shop. Another day, I always give myself, Sarah sits in the car with the kids. Another day I went into the shop, and there was a guy in it with his young son, I think it was a boy that had. He was a kid with him anyway, and he turned and says, you're that guy off TV.
Oh,
TV.
Yeah.
Well, right. You're the guy that's on YouTube. He says, I was watching news last night. You were doing it Mile Hospital. It's a place selling me were there on Sunday night. So it was Monday I was in. He says, I was watching you last night. He says, I recognise you. And, you know, he's a sheer random guy. Just, you know, just for that. But it's when he says, you're on TV. I said, no, I'm not on TV, mate. I mean, he says, no, you're on YouTube. I says, I was watching you last night.
I've had a few things like that, but that's why I like to sometimes keep in the background, because I thought, God, I want to. Though, you know, I try and keep in the background. I mean, I've been asked to go on a few bits and pieces, TV and stuff, but I try and keep in the background because I can imagine them go. Because I have had people say to me, "Oh, you're the paranormal guy, aren't you?" Oh yeah. Or and then they start talking about spirit, and then you're like, you know, you walk on doing something, and they're like an hour in your ear, and you just thought, I just want to just get the bits I want to get and go. Yeah. Oh God, I'm never going to get away here, you know. But
I spoke to this guy for about 5 minutes, and then I said, you know, the limo's waiting. I need to go. I'm like kidding. He's waiting.
But it's nice, yeah. They do, you know. Sometimes we get paranormal chat and we go on for about 2 hours, like tonight. You know, I'm terrible for.
No, but we always enjoy having you on, Tim, because, you know, we enjoy having everybody on. Don't get me wrong. I don't mean that against any, you know, anybody else who's been on, but you know, it's good just to sit and you can still be. As I said, we work close with GSI. We're meeting them up in Pendle, and I says to them, it's good to be able to just sit and not have any particular topic, you know, and just have a chat.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, though, I'd just say, and hopefully soon, one day, we'll have to come up and visit, or you'll come down and visit us and do a few investigations, won't we?
Aye, well, we're away at Pendle in July, and we're in London on September.
You buy me a Scottish drink, a nice, is it a whiskey? Nice whiskey, there you go.
No, it's a can of Iron Brew. You'll get.
Oh,
a can of Iron Brew. No, I mean, that's what you'll get.
Iron Brew. Oh, yeah. Oh, right. Okay. Iron Brew, is that it? Is that? Oh,
if you've got a Scottish drink. No, you know, we'll get you a whiskey as well. I think we can stretch the purse strings to a whiskey. You know.
If I said Jack Daniels, he'd probably punch me one. What? That's American.
No, I used to drink Jack Daniels. Who's Jack Daniels?
Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels. Yeah.
I used to drink the Jack Daniels, the Tennessee honey one. I think it is Tennessee honey. That's nice.
No, I wouldn't dare ask that in Scotland. And say, can you give me a Jack Daniels? What? Fuck off. That's American. Get out of it. No offense to Americans. I'm just saying, like the vodka and Iron Brew.
Aye.
Love to do good times for you, but too far. Well, I don't know where you're from, Margaret. What town are you from? Not your postcode, though.
Thanks, Mr. Cat. Thanks, Margaret. Carol saying, LOL. Yeah. You too. Let's see what. Margaret's drinking Jack Daniels, so it's me.
I like the Jack Daniels.
Give him an Iron Brew. To give you, that's the Carol. Give you an Iron Brew. Margaret's in Newcastle. Newcastle's a lovely place.
Oh, Newcastle, right? Yes.
She's not that. She's not all that many miles for you. She's closer to you than she is us.
Maybe. Maybe.
You're in England.
I put a donkey's tail on a map, and that's about it. They would just go there.
We'll wrap it up there, buddy. That's us nearly 3 hours since it's past your time, nothing. So,
getting old now.
I know. I'm dreading hitting 40. I really am. I'm dreading reaching 40.
I'm dreading hitting 20. Tell you. No.
Aye, but again.
Again.
But I'll just keep you for a wee second after we come off. Tim. So, to everybody in chat, I hope you've enjoyed the last 3 hours. I've certainly had a great time talking to Tim. Tim, thanks. Always a pleasure. And to everybody in chat, thanks very much for coming in and putting up with the young ones here.
Yeah, the young one.
And Margaret's nearly 63. Still a young pup, Margaret. You're still a young pup. I mean,
no, that's a misspelling there. It's 36 from Margaret. She's 36.
Aye, I think that's 36. So we're back tomorrow night at 9 o'clock with part 2 of our Exorcist House. With part of our American team, Cat from Pennsylvania. So we'll be back in tomorrow night. So hopefully you can join us then. But for now, everybody, be safe and take care. And we'll talk to you soon.
And enjoy, and everyone, don't forget to watch Scott. Enjoy it. It'll be fantastic tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Tim. So thanks, everybody, and take care and stay safe, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.